Wow. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. Apologize for the tardiness. Had like a little last minute thing pop up, so had to kind of take care of that. But we're all good now. We're gonna get in it to enjoy the best conversation on the internet. And the reason why I feel like this, I don't feel like this. The reason why I know that this is the best conversation on the internet is because of you guys. You guys make this thing so enjoy. I hope you guys, honestly, I hope y'all enjoy this show as much as I do. You know, maybe I like it so much because I just enjoy all the conversation, all the different points of view, thought processes. But man, I really look forward to every evening chopping it up with y'all. And you know, as of recently, last week or so, the mornings have been very interesting too. So I definitely enjoy all of it. Man, my desk a little bit dirty. Don't judge me, okay? I'm not to be judged. I'll clean all that shit up in a minute. All right. I just need some space. I need some operating space. So what's the motherfucking deal, man? I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a great evening. Welcome to the Den. The Den is social commentary from a realistic perspective, but also, hey, the best show on the internet. And the reason why it's the best conversation on the internet is because you guys make it so great. So again, it's an honor, a privilege to get to chop it up with you each and every night, man. I love talking to you guys. So I hope, like I said, that you guys enjoy it also. Tonight we're going to get into, should you date people with children? And what I mean by that is, you know, dealing with all the things that come along with dating someone. And now it's not just a conversation for single people with no kids dating. I mean, if you have kids, should you date someone else? Because I've heard people say, and these are people with kids, that they would not date someone else with children. So I want to know everybody's perspective. Nobody's singled out tonight. Nobody's being excluded. And you know, even if you don't always fit in, you know, your opinions are always welcome because it's just good to know what people think. This is what the show is about. Even if you're not necessarily involved directly in a particular situation that we discuss, sometimes we talk about racial things, sometimes we talk about political things, sometimes we talk about a variety of things, but all opinions are welcome. Let's do the right stuff, man. Shout out to you, Starty. I appreciate the love. Antoinette Ford and to Larney Parsons. Let's see. Let's get everything in order here. Boop. Wow. Make sure you're following the Den Show on all the proper social medias. Den Show Live, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Den Show Live at gmail.com if you want to send an email. Let's see. If you ever want to call the Den, whether we're live or not, you can always call 833-284-3336. You can leave a text message. You can send a screenshot, pictures, whatever it is that you have you want to share with the Den. If you want me to check it out, a particular story or something like that, I will do my best to get to that. And like I said, I'm getting a little bit more efficient and started trying to bring more content to you guys. It's just sometimes during the day things take place. If you enjoy the conversation, like the video. Let YouTube know that, hey, you know, I might just be another nigga on the internet that, hey, we talking about something good over here. Subscribe if you're new to this and you enjoy it, because like I say, we're going to come with it Monday through Friday in the mornings and every night in the evenings. Make sure I ain't, yes, okay. My name is Ed Honcho. If you don't know, Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow my personal social, shout out to everybody who has done that in the recent last couple of days. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so very much. And hopefully you don't get too offended. I'm out to offend everybody, but it's all love. If you want to support the channel, you want to make a one-time donation, go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show. And there's different methods you can use to do that. So I appreciate everybody who's been dropping the Denjamins in support of the channel the goal, like I say, for those of you who don't know, it's been a while since I spoke on the goal, but the goal is, because if you don't, I operate out of my garage currently. Planning to be moving within the next few months here in town. I'm staying in Houston, but, you know, and so my goal is to be able to get, if it may be a storefront or a small space to where I can dedicate to the Den Show. Because, you know, sometimes when we stream, you hear all these little ambient noises and, you know, neighbors walking on the side and all this other stuff. And depending on where we end up, we're kind of dwindling down a couple places right now. But depending on where we end up, you know, I don't know what the garage situation will be like if we go to another apartment, if we end up going to a house and renting until we try to get ready to buy. So if you like the channel, hey, consider donating. We appreciate the love. And patreon.com/The Den Show if you want to make a monthly pledge to the channel. It is always greatly appreciated. But yeah, so like I said, the end game is to have a dedicated studio. That way I'm not sweating my ass off in here, not just me, but I would love to bring in guests and reach out to people and just kind of have some live stuff going on. And shit, I'd be more than happy to have some of you guys who are here in the Houston area definitely come on and, have some good live conversations. I really like rocking with you guys. And shit, if you're out of town, you want to take a trip just to be on the den, shit, that's cool too. Let's talk about it though. Let's get into the conversation. But before we get into the conversation, let's see who we got joining us this evening. And I know I'm a little late, so y'all active. So we're gonna see who we got joining us this evening. If I miss you, I didn't dish you. It's all love. James Hart, Miss Meat, Culture the Nubis, Kahao MC, Everything Life with Nikki, what's the motherfucking deal? Shelly Long, Wise Man, what's the motherfucking deal, Wise Man? Keisha R, Miss Bell, always good to see you, Miss Bell. AB, what's the motherfucking deal? Beyond a Funny Nigga, what's the motherfucking deal? Make sure y'all give Beyond a Funny Nigga some love and follow his Instagram. It is worth a follow, same as his name right there in the chat. Trust me, you won't regret it. Footballer 503, Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? Let us know. Baker Man, you gotta let us know the next time you got some action. And what I'm gonna try to do is maybe in the Den Show group, if they show it live again, maybe we can do like a little watch party type thing or something like that. That way all the friends in the Den can check out Baker Man live and in action. We can have it'll be a cool little deal. Rashida Reed, what's the motherfucking deal? We love Miss Reed. I'm finna pull up trying to get me a side man sandwich. I'm still a little hungry. You can get that ready for your boy. Mustard over mayo, but it's cool. Kanisha Simon, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Sweetberry 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Triple OG 335, man. Hey, what's the motherfucking deal? It's always good to see you. Heidi. Hey Heidi, what's up? What's going on? Only one lie, Morgan Clark, what's the motherfucking deal? Gloria Perez, always good to see you. Danny F. Only one lie. Let me see. Alicia Schaefer, what's the motherfucking deal? Cassie. Shout out to Cassie Cage. What's the motherfucking deal? I feel you. Cartier, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Nana, what's the motherfucking deal? Shannon Jones. Me and Mrs. Jones got a thing going on. Mr. Nice Guy, what's the motherfucking deal? Prepaid in the motherfucking house, what's the motherfucking deal? Broderick in the house. Ellen Davis, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Anthony J. You got a fresh story? Uh-oh. It's about to go down. Simply Love, what's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the Den. I don't know if you knew or if it's maybe if you've been here before, but it looks a little new to me. So what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us. Let me see. And Alicia Moore, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss V Darko, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. If I miss you, I didn't dish you. Female Pimp, I deliberately ignored you since you say I hate you. So I'm just gonna hate. Nah, Female Pimp, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad to see you. So let's talk. Okay. Hey, Miss Sandra. Already. Miss Sandra came with it. Okay. Good. I'm glad you could join us. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I done ran my mouth a little bit, and I done said motherfucker probably too many times. I'm sure the stream is already demonetized. That's how that works, I'm used to it by now. But I'm glad to see you all, first and foremost. And the topic tonight is, should you date someone with kids? Now, I think me, and I would probably say most men who have gotten to the point where you are dating in your 30s. And now, I'm not dating now. I am with someone, so I don't consider myself dating. I consider myself in a long-term relationship. But prior to this, when I guess I was on the scene, even though I wasn't really intentionally looking to date, she might have gamed me now that I think about it. I don't know. I might have got duped. I might have got hit with the okie doke. No, I'm just playing. But I think we accept it. We accept the fact that you are going to end up dating a woman with kids. I mean, it's just kind of what it is. See, Maria, what's the motherfucking deal? Sharon Armstrong. Excuse me, glad to see you. And so I think most men would kind of assume that. And I think most men at this point figure, hey, 1, 2 at the most. I think 1 is my, my borderline, So what if she give you a pass to have a kid with somebody else? Well, that is interesting. Crass and Heartless, what's the motherfucking deal? So I think most guys, though, once you get to this age, I think really once you get over, once you get 27, I mean, it's a wrap. Like, depending on your age range that you're willing to go, it's pretty much a wrap. But it seems like these days, by the age of 25, most women have kids that you come across. So, I think that as a man, it's accepted. I mean, you're gonna do it, but you have to pick and choose. And I think the circumstances are important. So I want to talk about the good and the bad that can come of that. Now, women, I think it's different for women because generally the kids aren't with the man, but you end up with probably more so of the baby mama drama and stuff like that. And you know, baby mamas don't want to see the man happy. They don't want to see him moving on, moving forward, anything like that. So you have those issues. Now, this isn't to say that men don't have, you know, issues with dealing with baby fathers and stuff like that. If you love your kid's father, if you love your kids, you want to have their daddy, don't bring that shit around me. That's definitely one thing that that's just a mentality I have from the rip. Like, hey, you got kids, cool, but you deal with your baby daddy, because if I have to, and I hate the term baby daddy, yeah, I know, the father of your child, but I'm just keeping it simple for tonight. You deal with him, because if I have to, it's not going to be what you want it to be. And your kid's probably not going to like me after that. But, you know, my thing is this. So, but most women don't have to deal with the kids on a daily basis, because generally they are going to be with the mom. That's just kind of how it works most of the time. But some things I have seen with women and children, that women, if a man has kids, especially a little girl that he loves dearly, women get envious. Do you know what I'm saying? Women get envious. Like I almost had to handle that other situation at the little kickback, you know. I don't want to have to do it. You know, I don't want to have to do nothing bad to nobody beyond. But nah, man, you know, I got like something in my ear, like fucking, just sounds funny. But, you know, my thing is this, that you have to establish a relationship, because you're not only going to be involved with that person, but you're going to be involved with those kids. So as a man, as a woman, or whatever it is, you have to make a decision if you're going to deal with that. Now, if you have kids of your own, I think that brings into a completely different dynamic. And I can't necessarily speak on that. But just my observation would be, it could be a little difficult, especially if you go long term, if you guys are planning on really, you know, getting serious, moving in, marriage, whatever it may be. Having those stepbrothers, stepsisters could be a whole different ball game. We see these mixed families, or whatever you want to call them, and a lot of different outcomes, a lot of different problems, you know what I'm saying? Well, baby mom was fighting me some UFC 40. But when you can get them to love, when you can get at it, that's a whole different ball game. No, but something like I don't know why it's like feels crazy. I have to clean it out or something. But you know, how do you deal with that? And so I want to know tonight, when we open up the line, I want to know how y'all feel about dating. I want to know what women think, because again, women are less tolerable of another woman's kids, in my opinion, than they would be, or what they would want a man to be of their kids. So that's my thoughts. As far as what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of women. I mean, women with children. I don't want no man with no kids. How does that work? Like, is that a fair standard to have? You know. So again, like I say, every situation is different. We are generalizing, okay? We are generalizing. Look, we don't need no specific attacks today. I just gotta throw that out there. I love all y'all. But, so that's kind of my thought process on this whole thing is, how do you handle dating or relationships if other people's kids are involved? Now, for those of you who don't know, I say it all the time, so you should know that I did get with a woman who was a single mother at the time. She has a child. I embrace that child like my own. And so that's why I say I find it hard and difficult for people who have biological children to treat their children like shit, because the child is very loving. And there's nothing like the innocence of a child. And I don't understand people who take that away from kids, who beat them, who do all this stuff. Now, I don't spank her. If it just gets bad enough, you know, and she don't really ever get that bad. It might be twice a year, if that's the case. But, you know, her mom will handle that. But I do punish her. We use the exercise route. So, hey, we're going to hit some push-ups. We're going to hit some wall sits. We're going to do some plank. We're going to do something that is not fun, if you feel me. So, I can't put that on the shirt because that shit'll get so misconstrued. But I want to know how y'all feel. So here's the deal. Oh yeah, we're gonna work it out. So there's gonna be one or two things. You either gonna be bad and tough, or you're gonna do the right thing, and you ain't gonna have to deal with all. You're gonna be, you ain't gonna have to deal with all that nonsense. So as much as you want to do bad shit, you want to continue to be bad. Well, hey, you're gonna be able to deal with all the consequences that come with being mischievous. Because you're gonna be able to handle any punishments that come with it. Because you're gonna work it the fuck out. Kanye West workout plan ain't got shit on Honcho. So let's open up this line, man. I want to know how y'all feeling this evening. Again, if you like the channel, if you enjoy the content, man, hit the like button. If you go OG, and if you've been here for a while. If you're new to this, man, hit that subscribe and like button. We go live every night, 10 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, every morning at 10 a.m. Central. So, and follow the proper socials. Den Show Live everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Gmail, if you want to send an email. Where's that fucking number? I always lose it. There we go. You can call us at the 833-284-3336, but I guess I should actually open up the phone system so we can do that while that's working. If you enjoy the channel, you want to make a one-time donation, streamlabs.com/The Den Show. And if you want to consider pledging on a monthly basis, then you can go to patreon.com/The Den Show. It is appreciated. The support is definitely appreciated because, YouTube do not like my ass. If I upload a video, that hoe turns yellow if the bitch ain't demonetized all the way. I don't know why they don't like me. Maybe I'm too profane. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're going to keep it real. So I would like to hear, experiences that you've had dating. I'd like to hear, how you would handle certain situations. If you have kids and you've dated, how do you handle that? And I'm not saying that as soon as you date, you need to be introducing your kids to whoever you're dating. I don't think that's wise. I don't think that's smart. I definitely think there should be a time frame before that ever happens. But if you get serious enough, then, when do you introduce your kids to someone you're dating? When do you introduce your significant other? Oh yeah, she's gonna be disliked forever. She still subscribes. She gotta subscribe so she can know the dislike. So, it's all good. I'm not tripping at all on that. It's either her or it is Pride Month, and there's a lot of LGBT affiliates, mainly the T's, that don't like me too much. So they might be hitting that dislike button too. Okay. You have one kid, but he's an adult. Okay. Tell him come on down to the den. No, I don't do that. Yeah, she might try to whoop somebody. What y'all say to my mama? Who is that? That Marlon? Was that Marlon? Yeah, Marlon. What you say about my mama? Yeah, it'd be a problem. Man, nobody chased her. She's still around. I won't be surprised if I get a random text message or something like that telling me I'm a twit in the ass. And that was a tweet. She made a real live Twitter account just to do that. Dating can be casual and fun. So, but what happens when it gets serious? What happens when the point where you get serious and say, hey, you know what? I like this person. Let's take it to the next level. Is that when you have to get introduced to the kids? Is that when you have that discussion? And again, for women, I feel like it's different because, if you have your own kids and, that's your deal. But if you're dating a man that has kids already, you're not going to see them as much because generally he doesn't have custody. He might have weekend visits every other weekend. If you're a man and the chick got kids and she got, weekend visitation things going on, then that weekend that you got free, you got to go all in. You better turn it all the way up. We say 4 out of 5 stepchildren about are step monsters. Make a baby kid look about that's tough. That's super tough. Don Love says you dated a year before you met your kids. Okay. I'm being nosy. Are you still dating? He doesn't have kids, but you do. Okay. Let's see. You doing it. If you're doing it right, this shit, motherfucking kids waking up. What you doing to my mama? You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? What y'all talking about? World Star? All this other shit in the world to do. It ain't a street like animals. I mean, a long-term relationship after checking out the man or woman and getting to know each other, yes. But if not, there's no need to meet the kids. You have to treat the kids as if they're yours, and that's something I definitely agree with. I agree with that 100%. If you're a man, and you're going into a relationship with a woman with kids, and you're not willing to treat those kids like yours, then you don't need to be in that relationship. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
This is Sandra. How are you doing?
Man, Miss Sandra, good to hear from you again. I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So what's on your mind this evening, Miss Sandra?
Well, I just wanted to make it nice and short about the children and being in a relationship with a man that has kids. Or I'm like this. I don't have any kids of my own, and that's by choice. So dating someone, I always look to see if their kids are grown and out on their own, like going to college, or they have their own apartment. I check out about the issues with the man and the ex, or whoever they used to be. And if that's if they're not speaking or not speaking terms, everything is like high five to me in that area. I am like cool in the game because I'm like, I don't have to deal with none of that stuff. Especially if if I see them in there, they got little babies and stuff like that. I love children. Just because I don't have any, don't mean I love them. I think children are beautiful. But when it comes to me, if I'm in a relationship, my nerves wouldn't be able to go over there and get the baby bottle, or go over there, can you help me change the diaper? I mean, I just can't do that. I mean, they have to be grown and out.
I agree.
And the mama and all them, they either have just like this relationship where they hate each other from them being together for so long, and they don't even speak and stuff like that. I'm cool in the gang. I like that.
Okay. So
that's just me. Just me. I mean, I'm not knocking. Anybody want to be related. I'm just saying. Okay. I don't need no more drama in my life. I try to lessen the drama in my life. I don't need all that. And if I see it, I run.
I don't blame you. About that. So have you ever had a situation where you had to deal with some baby mama drama, or maybe ex drama in a relationship?
Ex drama, I have, yes. Even though the kids were grown and out of the house, this seemed like this, and this was a long while back in my younger days. And, got tied up with an individual who had kids by different girls and a couple of women. It wasn't like a whole lot. It was a couple of women, and they were still liking him, and they've been broke up and everything. And I was like, and they come at me, cutting my tires, all this type of stuff. And so I learned the lesson from that. I learned the lesson to kind of like really focus and not trying to be real picky. I mean, I'm not all that, but I do think I am some kind of bag. I got a chip in my bag, some chips in my bag, and I feel like, as I got older, I started to look at those type of things, like, kind of like being like an investigator. I have to check out everything before I can say, okay, we're in a commitment, or even if it has to be some type of potential there, if that makes sense.
No, I get you. So I got a question for you, Miss Sandra.
I can't see myself falling in love with somebody who has like little babies or 7 and 8 years old because they got the school stuff. I mean, it's just like if maybe it's because I wasn't a mother. Like I said, it's not that I don't love children. I love them to death. I act like a big kid myself, but having that, on an everyday basis or something like that, say we living together and they running in and out with book bags and wanting to, sit down, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Like I said, I thought I was of the same mind before I got into my situation. I can't blame you on that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's gotta be some clean. That the less drama, the better. That's how I look at life now. Going through the things that I went through in life younger, I look at things differently. Like the less drama I can get in and it's, kind of cool and laid back. Not saying everything is perfect because it's not. But the less drama I can find in any area of my life, I feel like it's a better situation for me.
Okay. So I got a question for you, Miss Sandra.
What was that?
I said I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever stalked a man?
What was that?
I said, have you ever stalked a man?
Stalked?
Yeah, stalked. Like had to track him down.
Hell,
real style.
No, I never was that type of person.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
Never stalked anybody. Never. I was only, maybe it's because I grew up with, all brothers. I don't know, and maybe I kind of like took on a lot of energy of the masculine. Not saying I'm not a woman. I'm all woman, and I love men, but maybe I just think the way a man does in most instances, and maybe that's why I didn't go through those type of changes, chasing after a man or stalking them or anything like that. It seemed like it was the opposite. Somebody always following me and calling me. I'm like, look, I don't want to be bothered, stuff like that.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. No, never stalked anybody. That's too much drama and too much energy to be given out to anybody. I just rather let it go. Another love TKO and just keep it moving. I don't feel like I have to go through all that because that's a sign of insecurity and doubting yourself. And then when you're in that headspace, you're liable to do anything.
Yeah, it could get very dangerous.
And if you have to stalk anybody or trying to feel like you got to find out where they at every moment, well, there's something wrong with that relationship.
Hi there.
Okay. Interesting.
I hope that made sense.
No, I got you 100%. Oh, is there anything else you would like to add to that?
No, that's all I wanted to really say about. That's just my opinion. Saying hi to everybody in the den. Much respect to everyone and much respect to you.
Well, thank you, Miss Sandra. I appreciate hearing from you again.
Always.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, you have a good evening, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the conversation.
I will. You all take care.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. I'm just curious. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, look. Let me tell y'all something. I've my ears. I've been stalked once or twice. Now that I think about it. But hey. Sometimes, somebody puts something on you. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. No judgments. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
What's good, Honcho? This your boy Anthony J.
Anthony, man, you said you got a story to tell, and man, I want to hear it. What's on your mind, man? What you got good for us?
I'm talking about fresh story, man. What was this? What's this goddamn Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday, yeah. So I got one. I've been fucking with, off and on for like about 2 years or whatever. But just to set it up, I've been knowing the female for like damn near 10 years. So she got a kid. She got a 5-year-old. He bad as fuck. I'll just preface it with that. He bad as fuck. Yeah. So mind you, the kid's 5. I've actually known her longer than the baby daddy has. So we've been, chopping it up and all of that good stuff. It's kind of different when you have known somebody for so long and then it just kind of turned into, maybe we should see what the fuck is going on. So you have a little bit of a different understanding about certain shit. Because when somebody is like a really good friend, they not gonna lie to you about nothing. They just gonna tell you whatever because you already know all the moves. You already know whatever cards they got. You already know the shit before they even say it. So we kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in full simp mode. Busting out a foot rub and shit. Because she did something real nice for my birthday or whatever. Okay. So, I'm in full simp mode, man. It's about 11 o'clock. Now, mind you, we were supposed to go out Saturday night. Didn't happen because she couldn't get the whole babysitter situation up. which is basically drop the kid off with the dad. He spend time with his dad, that type of shit. Which I didn't care because I didn't really want to fucking go out anyway. So it's about 11 o'clock, phone going off. Of course, she ain't getting up to get it because she halfway dozing off because she done got hot in the motherfucker and feeling good and whatnot. So, you know, I'm about to the point where I'm ready to go to the crib, about to leave. She picks up the phone, looks at the phone, and she says, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What, your baby daddy outside?" And she's like, "Yes, this nigga's outside." So I'm like, "Well, shit, I mean, what you want to do?"
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I was like, "Shit, we can do this however you want to do it." Because I say, I don't want to make it no problems for you because I know how niggas are. They see that they moved on. He gon' be on some, well, I don't want to fuck with my kid type shit. He already don't fuck with the kid because number one, if you were supposed to see your fucking son that day, you supposed to spend time with him. We couldn't go out because she couldn't get you to watch the son, so she took the son to the granny house.
Yeah.
You have no reason to be over here. There's no reason for you to be over here. You popping up unannounced and whatnot. That type of shit. And I already know he's one of them type of niggas. He done pulled up at a job and all type of shit. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, that situation only going on because you feel sorry for him and you pacifying the shit. And of course, you don't want to take it too far because then, like I said, he one of them niggas that he won't fuck with the child if he feel like he can't, you know, fuck with you type shit. So my whole thing was, you know what I'm saying, like out of respect for her and the situation, I didn't go outside. You know, at the time I was wanting to go outside, but I was like, whatever you finna do, like you need to go and do it because I'm trying to go to the fucking crib. Like I don't give a fuck what y'all got going on. I'm just trying to go to the crib. Like, what's up? I'm a grown ass man. I'm not gonna sit here in the fucking house because you worried about your punk ass baby daddy outside. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm grown. I ain't got time for this shit. But anyway, you know, out of respect for her, I was like, look, she's like all fucking just panicking and shit. I'm like, look, it's very simple. Your sons are not here. You got to go pick him up anyway. Just walk your ass down the steps, get in the car and go. Like it's very simple. He don't have a reason to be over here anyway, other than he trying to smash. So, you know, just get in the car and go. And I was like, after you leave, well, then I'll leave. It's very, very simple. Like, there's no reason to panic about the shit. But, you know, just that type of shit. It's like, that's the number one problem that you will have. Like, I know people say baby mamas is trouble, and yes, they are. But baby daddies ain't no better. It's some punk motherfucking baby daddies out here that don't give a fuck about their child. They use their child just like some of these baby mamas do as a pawn, and it's always gonna be, well, I want to see my child this and I want to see my child that. Nah, you ain't have no fucking excuse. Your child wasn't even there. Yeah. Like, man, it's the oldest fucking trick in the book, the oldest one. So the thing is, if you gonna fuck with somebody that's you know, got a baby mama or a baby daddy, it's not up to you to check that shit. They gotta check that shit. It's not up to you. And the way I do it is I tell them, I say, look, you gonna handle it or I'm gonna do it my way. But I prefer not to do it my way because it's not my situation in the first place. So I don't feel like I should have to do that. You know, it's on you to take care of that shit. And you know, she did it without me really having to get on her about it. She really got to it before I could even get mad about it. And that just goes back to the fact that I've known her longer than her fucking baby daddy has. Yeah. So, you know, it's just like if you're gonna deal with somebody with kids, you just gotta understand that it's gonna come to a point where they gonna have to nip this shit in the bud. And she told him, like, you know, hey, you ain't supposed to be over here. You don't have no reason to be over here. You know, if you pop up over here again, your feelings just gonna be hurt because you're gonna see a nigga walk outside. And you're gonna see the nigga walking outside, you know, putting the wife beater back on. That's what you're gonna see, and it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt you. You know what I'm saying? But my philosophy is, I would say, if you can avoid dealing with somebody that's got kids, please do it. Do so. Avoid that shit like the plague. I would say 2 max. 1 if they bad as fuck. Also, believe it or not, the gender of the child is a big deal too, because like if it's a girl, like if you're dating a baby mama, if you're dating the mother of a child, and it's a girl, you really ain't gonna have to worry about the fucking dad showing up in most cases, because most niggas ain't shit like that. I hate to say it, but it's true. And sometimes with the son, they can kind of be an in and out type nigga. It's almost like, you hate to say it this way, it's almost like you would rather deal with a baby father that is never in the picture than a motherfucker that's popping in and out all the time. And it's not because you're tired of dealing with them, it's because it's unfucking fair to the kid. It's unfair to the child, and it frustrates the baby mama, and then you gotta deal with that shit. They don't have to deal with it. It's like, if you fuck with them, then you gotta deal with that shit. So it's almost better that if there is another parent, that they're just not in the picture at all, because then it's like you got full control over the situation. Not to say that you can't still have full control over the situation. It just depends on how mature the other person is. Because the way I am, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna argue with nobody. Shit. Hell, I was cool. We could have walked outside, and I could have met the nigga. Like, I don't have no hate in my heart at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit. I'm not necessarily religious. I would say I'm spiritual. Shit, I done prayed for the nigga and everything. I pray that you find you something else to fuck, because you can't get this one back. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. If it ain't me, it's gonna be somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying it's necessarily gonna be me in the picture in the long run, but it's like one of them things. Like he got to get himself together. You know what I'm saying? And one black man to another. Like, I don't want to see nobody, have walking around with no hate over some bullshit, when shit, you had your shot at the title, and you motherfucking Anthony Joshua with the shit. You fucked it off. You know what I'm saying? So, I just hate when the other party is in their feelings about some shit that they had the motherfucking control in their hands, and they just, they fucked that motherfucker up, man. They threw a goddamn pick 6 in the fourth quarter when 10 seconds to go, and all they had to do was kneel the motherfucking ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all they had to do. But yeah, that's all I say is, if you can avoid that shit, avoid it. If the kid bad as fuck, 1 max. If they cool, 2. But they gotta have the same daddy though. They gotta have the same daddy. You can't do 2 or more and they got different. Nah, fuck that. That's too many people. That's too many. Really, 1's too many. But if the kids are cool, and the good thing about having a woman that does have a child, you can see what type of mother she is from the bat. You don't have to guess what kind of mama she gonna be. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see if she ain't shit as a mama. Like, if she got to drop her kid off all the time, or or she's allowing you just to come over at all kind of different times. Like, I wouldn't fuck with a female if she let me come over and it's like late or something like that, and the kid is still up. Yeah. I wouldn't fuck with that female no more, because that's not cool. Like, I would be pissed off if my sister did some shit like that. Yeah. Nah, you make sure your kid sleep, if anything, or better yet, you know what I'm saying, make sure the babysitter set up. Yeah. If you can't afford the babysitter, the nigga should pay for the babysitter. You know what I'm saying? If he really wants to spend time with you and shit like that.
Okay. Yeah, man, look, that's a tough situation. That's why I do my best to avoid, even when, just period. If the baby daddy's around, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not so calm, cool, and collected. I'm not a drama person. I'm not a violent person. I'm not a drama person. But niggas get ignorant. And you gotta really,
Ignorant in the motherfucker.
you gotta really decide, man. Am I going to jail tonight? Do I want to deal with this case? But so you try to avoid that because it ain't worth it. Because then it's a lose-lose. You don't get no hype. You end up getting locked up, or some dumb stuff happen, or you didn't set off some drama that you're gonna have to deal with. So it almost sucks to say, like you said, though, you'd almost rather deal with a chick who got a deadbeat dad for a baby's father than a active one. But that's sad for the child, and you look at it like that. So it's so many layers to it, man. It's bad all the way around.
it's all fucked up, man. But shit, like you were saying, once you get to our age, man, like shit, I'm 30 now, so the shit, man, you just gotta kind of go with what the fuck is the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best ones got kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some that don't have no kids, but shit, it's that wild card that they might be a terrible mother. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
That's just the risk you take.
Yeah.
But shit, man, it's a lot. Really, I just say it depends on the situation. It depends on who you are as a person. Cause me about 5 years ago, it was absolutely fucking not. I'm not fucking with nothing with no kids, because hell, I come from kind of a blended family. Like, my dad had one of my brothers in his first marriage. My mom had my other brother before they got together. Then they got together and had me and my sister. So I had to watch certain shit. Like, he tried to do stuff with my other brother and my mom's son, and it was just like she would always shelter him so fucking much. And it was like she created a separation. And I don't know if she realized that she did that, because I guess she was trying to overcompensate for the fact that his real dad didn't fuck with him at all. So, my dad stepped in and was like, he always tried to make sure he included my brother in everything. But every time, like, we would go do shit, it was like, he like, come on, son, let's go out to the country, let's go do this, let's go fishing or some shit. He like, get my other brother, and she's like, nah, he can stay here. Like, that type of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, you created that separation. So, me growing up, I always was like, man, I do not want to deal with nobody else's fucking kids, because I ain't never going to be able to tell them nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? You ain't going to stop around at my house, and I can't tell you what to do or give you advice, or, you know what I'm saying, if you acting a fool, whoop your ass. Shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's just my view on it, man. I'm going to get off of here and see what everybody else. I'm trying to see if Prepaid gonna call in. I know he got something.
Man, we gonna see. Prepaid always dropping some gems for us, so we gonna see what's up.
Already, man.
Man, appreciate you sharing that though with us, Anthony, man. You have a good evening.
Already.
Yeah. Man, look, like I say, the dating pool. I'm trying to hear this story that Alicia, man, look, what? Married to baby daddy, one baby daddy stayed with him. There's nothing good about this. There's just a whole lot of other stuff going on. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Everything Life with Nikki motherfucking Nicole.
Nikki motherfucking Nicole. Please say the motherfucking.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind? How you feeling this evening, Miss Nicole?
I would think this is a tricky topic, or tricky. This is a tricky one because I've actually seen it from a lot of different aspects.
Okay.
So, like, when I was, even before I was born, my mom and my daddy, when they got together, my mama had a baby already. But whenever her dad would come around, it would be like some in and out. I want to do what I want to do. Pop up at your house when I feel like it. Bum stuff. So when my dad took the picture, he told him, look, don't even come around here no more.
Yeah.
Go on about your business.
Yeah.
And so he took care of my sister for her whole life. That man didn't ever come back around. He wasn't interested. So they went ahead and bumped that and went on. Now, in my adult life, I've experienced a man with kids that he loved his kids, but those kids were they didn't have nothing. I mean, baby's kids didn't have nothing on these kids. These were terrible kids I feel like I ever saw in my life. And I love the kids because I feel like, they just kids, they don't really know no better because they're not getting taught what they're supposed to be getting taught at their primary, residence. But they come to my house And I mean, because I have kids too, so they come to my house, tear up my house, tear up my kids' toys, tear up everything. I mean, like putting holes in the wall. And my kids don't even, when nobody's at my house is quiet. My kids are not bad at all. And they have, I teach my kids stuff. And these kids were, oh my God, it was like a no-go. I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And I've been in a relationship with the man and the mama that was like, whew, I can't do this. Because it was like everything. She would send text messages. Oh, I can't believe you letting a raggedy ass bitch tell you that you can't be in your kids' life. I mean, it's like a lot of different, it's just different. It's how that person parents their kids and the relationship they have with and what they're not going to tolerate with that other person and how they're going to incorporate you into their situation. So it's just tricky. It just depends on the person and the situation. If you should deal with something like that.
Okay. So if you had your say so, if you had your choice and your option, would you just rather deal with a man that did not have kids as opposed to a man that did?
I feel like it really wouldn't matter because at some point in time, a man has dealt with kids. And with me having kids, I feel like a man has dealt with kids, whether it's their nephews, nieces. I mean, they've been around kids, or if they want kids, or if they already have them, they have some experience with kids. And if they make me comfortable enough to, let that person into my life, then okay, then maybe I can, bring them in a little bit closer. But as far as if they want kids, now if they want to have them, then I don't want to have any more kids. But they already have them. I love them kids like they're my kids. But if they don't have them, then they just don't have them. But they, they will have to be willing to be a role in my kid's life.
Okay. Interesting. So, say you're with somebody long enough, would you allow that person to discipline your children?
That's a real good question because I debate this with a friend girl of mine all the time. She stands on the, ain't nobody gonna put their hands on my kids. I do all the whooping, I do all this. The way I look at it is, okay, you got a man coming into your life willing to help you raise your kids. He helping to pay bills. He helping to feed your kids. He clothing your kids. He at the football games, at the schoolhouse, at the, parent-teacher meetings with you, and you all for all of that. But when it's come time to tell little Mikey to sit his bad ass down or he done something wrong and that man want to correct him, then why would you say, don't touch my child, but you can do everything else for your kid? I feel like the school got my kids for 8 hours, I got them for 8, and they sleep for 8. What happens during the 8 when we got them and the motherfuckers are taking care of them, if they done cross the line to where they need their ass beat, and I got a person that I trust, that I love, and I feel like I trust with my kids because I got them around my kids, I feel like, okay, you can lay down the law. I'm not saying beat my kids or anything like that. You can lay down the law and you can make this kid respect you because mine are going to be made to respect.
Okay, interesting because that's also something I've seen, and I think that's important that people have to consider that, like you said, the scenario you prior mentioned that, everything else is okay, but don't tell them nothing. Don't, you can provide, you can support, you can do all the good stuff, but if they get to acting up, you can't tell them nothing. I think that's, in my personal opinion, that's a no-go. If we're going to be a family, we're supposed to be this kind of arrangement or whatever it is, then, we have to discuss all avenues. But I agree with what you said as far as how you would handle it. Respect is very important, so, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't want nobody saying nothing to your kids, then you need to be with your kids at all times forever because the world gonna teach them. They're gonna get out here and they're gonna hard ass lessons if you're not willing to get it on taken care of. If can't nobody say nothing to your kids, then they give them a goddamn cell inmate number right now. The world gonna teach them some hard lessons.
Straight up.
So that's why I preach. My son he'll be 7 tomorrow, but I preach it to him right now. If a man is in this house and he's feeding you and he putting that food on the table, you're going to respect. It's not going to be no, you ain't my daddy, you ain't this. It's not going to be none of that. You're not going to disrespect any adult person, especially not a man that's stepping in here doing something he ain't have to do when he come to take care of you. Now, it may be the unpopular opinion with women, with that, they can't say nothing to my child, can't beat my child. I'm not saying just let a man come in your house and just beat your child. But if there is discipline needed for this child, some kids you can just yell at and then they'll get in line. But some kids, like the dude was just saying, that 5-year-old was bad as hell. Some kids are bad as hell, and a little yelling ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Shit. So, and like I said, I'm not off a beat, but there are multiple ways that you can discipline. Like I say, I personally save the spanking for her mom. And it's not like that happens often. One, because like I said, I'm heavy-handed. And it's a little kid. I'd be afraid I've done some damage. So, we find alternative methods of discomfort for punishment. But yeah, I agree with you. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, that's it, y'all.
Well, Miss Nikki Nicole, I appreciate you calling in and sharing that with us.
All right.
All right, you have a good evening. Shout out to Miss Nikki Nicole. I believe that's the first time calling this up. No, I fried it. Look, hey, players fuck up. But shout out to everybody who's new. Slide in the DM. We go live every night, 10 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central. Den at 10, easiest way to easiest way to remember that shit. Den at 10, man. So. But here's the thing, though. Again, it has to come down to trust and understanding, and it's not just, hey, well, I'm dating this nigga, he can spank my kids, or hey, I'm dating this chick, she can spank my kids, because sometimes you have women that have malicious intent, men have malicious intent. Like, I would see a lot of that shit on World Star. I know we was talking about that shit, but it was one with like a stepmother, and to me, she was just doing that shit for attention. Where she like ended up shaving a little kid head. I think he got high or some shit. Like, and to me, what she was doing was just being spiteful. More so than punishment, because she was just more so focusing the camera and doing all the other little off the wall shit. Like, I'm not about embarrassing a kid. It's not about embarrassment, It's about learning a lesson, understanding why what you did was wrong and how you need to correct it, and hopefully find a situation where this will be the one and only time I have to punish you for this, and we can move forward. But you have these parents who look for any opportunity, especially nowadays. This is what I hate. These days is this social media parenting, where people really do shit to their children for likes and follows and comments. So they'll do some old just dumb shit. I remember somebody gave me like a fucked up haircut on purpose. Well, you want to do this, you want to be get fucked up, but I'm gonna give you a fucked up haircut. Or it's just been 2 or 3 things. It's been a while since I've seen some of them, but it's just I remember seeing like it was like a string of that shit happening. And you just want to put your kid out there for foolishness, And to me, that's like you're doing more damage than you are helping. Now these kids viral, they little classmates laughing at them. The kid ain't learned nothing, but you a fucked up individual, And then now you just started some drama with whomever else, the other mom or whatever, depending on who it is that's in their life. It's not about embarrassing the kid. Now, unless they embarrass you, and then you gotta embarrass them a little bit, But you don't want to scar them for life. That shit on the internet don't ever go away. So all I'm saying is this, though. There has to be a fine line. That's why I say I don't spank, but I get creative with punishment. You're going to get certain things taken away because, if that don't work, then we gon' and that shit don't work because, man, the little one, she'll make a game or a toy. She'll find a way to make anything interesting. I could empty that whole room and it could just be bare or just a bed or something. She gonna find a way to turn that fucking bed into some kind of adventure world or some shit. Like, she gonna find a fucking way to make that shit something. So it's like, well, goddamn, And then it's to the point where I ain't trying to just overdo it. It's just like, I done took toys and, done all this. So she's still gonna find a way. I'm like, well, goddamn. So I've had to get creative. Yeah, exactly. I've had to creative. We do the exercise. You hit them push-ups. You're doing something foolish. Drop and give me 10. Drop and give me 20. If it's a repeated offense, then look, hey, well, we finna go ahead and get it in. Every time I have to tell you about the same thing, there's gonna be another 10. And so if it was the first time, it was 10. If you do the same thing again, we just talked about it, you're gonna have to give me 20. There's gonna be another time you're gonna have to give me 30. You're gonna stay here until they all get done. And then now you waste my time because I got other stuff to do, But you're making these decisions, so it's not gonna be fun for anybody, But so that's funny, man. So you can raise kids without whipping them. I did a single mom, and my facial expressions and what it meant, they straightened up. But I would not allow anyone to whip or hit my kids. Okay. But they be just deliberately fucking them up. Now, I've seen niggas who actually went to the barbershop and ended up with some haircuts like that, but probably unintentionally. But they be deliberately just fucking them kids up, making big holes. Oh, damn. So, but I ain't, you know, she ain't never used no profanity or nothing. And so, not that I know of. I know when I was in third grade, man, you had that switch. No, I mean, well, yeah, you had to switch too. You get your ass whooped with a switch. But in school, you could do all kind of foolishness. You know, that lunch table, we cussing, talk about rap, we do all kind of off the wall shit. But once you get your ass back in that motherfucking classroom, you flip the switch. You still talking a little crazy when the teacher ain't paying attention. But then once you on that bus, you better get it all out. You sit in the back of the bus, you talking reckless. But once that shit been on your street, you go ahead and you throw all that profanity out the window. You be ready, man. You step out and be a good kid. Which my mama would have heard me, because boy, she bust my ass. Probably never heard of me today. I'd have been out of there. Nah, but my teacher don't really trip too much. You know. But there were understanding and reasonings. But that's a whole different thing. With my pops, that nigga there used to, man, look, Jack. And he used to whoop my ass. My fucking grandma, country ass grandma, used to whoop my ass. I told y'all she used to make a nigga go walk. She had a kitchen window. She lived kind of in the woods, and it was just a rural area where she stayed. And so out of her kitchen window, you know, the woods was about, you know, had a nice sized yard. So you go out the front door, go walk to the woods, and so I'd be over there. She's like, pick a switch. You got to pick your switch. I try to come in with a little whole ass switch. Nah, this ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be a little bit thicker. She gave me a diameter, a circumference on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And the base of it needs to be 13 centimeters around. So if that bitch wasn't big enough, she's gonna see to go back and get another one. You go get another one. Now you gotta leave some leaves on the end of this. You know, that shit had to have some velocity. You know, I guess that made it more aerodynamic. So I don't know what the leaves did. Goddamn it, I know them whole stung. It only took a couple of times of that, and I got my mind right. So, I see it. But like I said, I got a whoop from my pop doing some old hoe shit. And like I said, I still got that scar on my hand. It's left like a little X on my hand. You know what I'm saying? You can still see that bitch. And I got that whooping when I was like 5 years old, man. And so I ain't no hard feelings for it. It was some hoe ass shit. He told me to come in the house, and like I said, and my ball, it went across the street. So I ran across the street to go get that bitch before I came in the house. And he's like, I told you to come in the house. And so this nigga, and the thing that used to kill me about this dude, man. This nigga would talk to you as, man, hurry up and get the whooping over. This shit sting is already hurting, and you just having, you know, you just dropping fucking haikus in the middle of each lick. We see you're gonna get 37 licks, and each one is a conversation in between. Like, nigga, get this shit over with, man. Like, I'm not tripping on the licks. You know, it is what it is at this point in time. But God, I don't want the talking is what's killing me, man. Oh, goddamn. Yeah, y'all use that line. Don't be afraid of the line. The line is for everybody, whether you're new, whether you're old. Everybody's welcome to use the line. All opinions are welcome. One time was enough. I'm telling you, them switches wasn't no joke. I done had the belts, the switches, the shoe. I don't think I ever got hit with the extension cord. I know some people say they got the extension cord. That's borderline abuse right there. That's some other shit. Hangers, no, I don't think I had no hanger action. I think it was mainly switches and belts. And then it got to the point when I was probably about 11. And that was probably about the last time that a belt whooping was effective. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
It's Miss Meat.
Miss Meat, hey, the A1 VIP #1 champ, Miss Meat, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you doing this evening?
All right, how y'all doing?
Doing pretty good, can't complain.
Well, you know, usually I listen to a few stories before I call in, but it was one particular story to get the last guy. I can't remember his name. But let me tell you this. I'm not saying this is in all instances, but in 99% of the time, if the baby mama, baby daddy still acting the fool, something's still going on. Let me tell you, something is still going on. And unless this woman or man is 12 biscuits short of a dozen, something is still going on if they still acting a fool. because I'm gonna tell you, my husband, like I said, he had kids, but it was only one of the baby mamas that was acting a fool. So I questioned it. Like, why is she still acting a fool? What's going on? Because when you come to my house, I'm the booger with the sugar. Ain't no acting a fool. I don't do drama or none of that. So if you still want her and y'all still fucking around, then you can have her. Because I ain't gonna do it. But now, as far as dating a man, I've did it. I've dated a man with no kids. That didn't work because I had children. It didn't work. Like, he would act like he was doing right for the kids. But one day, I never left them with him, but I had a babysitter. So she had an emergency, had to go, woo. So it took me, maybe an hour to get home because at that time I was on public transportation. So when I got home, I went straight to my kids' room. What happened? Anything happened? This and that, because I really did. Because the fact that he didn't have kids, he really didn't, you know, engage in them like that. And he didn't live with me, but he was there a lot because he stayed like in another part of Georgia, and I stayed in Atlanta. But I had to get rid of him quick because he didn't have no children. Now, to each his own. But me, I prefer to have men with children. That's me because I had children. And now, as far as the punishment, my husband's like you, Honcho. You said one thing. I'm too strong. I feel I might hurt him. So he never touched her. Like, one time I came home, he had my girls writing sentences. They hated that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of nothing like that. Ooh, they hated that. And every time they did something when I wasn't around, it'd be more and more sentences. Until, hey, they weren't going to do all that when he was around. Because, he found different ways of punishing. Because I don't believe, because I got abused as a child. I did. My stepfather abused me. He abused my mother. But I don't blame my mother. Rest in peace. Rest her soul. I didn't blame her because back then they didn't speak of it. They wasn't strong enough, I guess. I don't know. But she knew this was going on with us. And I promised myself I would never, I would use alternative methods. Now, me, my nieces, my nephews, I don't care, my kids, I got this look like, you don't play with me. I don't have to beat you to know that I'm serious. I don't even have to whoop you. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I ain't gonna say I hadn't had to whoop my children. But that was after they, some people whoop their kids when they 1 and 2 and 3. I don't get that because, kids are learning at that age. You learn at that age. They don't need no whooping. You don't pop them when they doing something, they don't know. But, this was teenagers when they bucked up to me and thought they were grown. Oh, I had to show them who was in charge. That's, when all that happened. But as far as my husband, no, never touched me. He found creative ways, and they hated it. Ooh, they hated it. And I wish I could have found creative ways like that, But, other than that, everybody teaches on. Like the first caller, the lady, she said she don't want to date men with kids. And I understand it because some women never want to have kids. Never. You can't change their mind. That's just not what they want to do. They don't want to have children. And you can't get mad at them. They don't want to date men with children. I don't know how she's going to ever get somebody because everybody have kids these days mostly, but they don't want to have children themselves. Or like she said, they want to wait till they're grown. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you always got to make sure that that man or that woman that you get is going to want children. Because they show you the signs off the rip. Anybody don't want to be around children, they show you the signs off the rip. You just got to look for them.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I had my own reasons why. Because it was a while. I ain't gonna get into the story, but it took me a long time. Like I said, I've resigned to being. I'm not gonna have any of my own. Because it's just you gotta put up. You gotta put up a lot of shit for me to feel like I'm gonna make that commitment. So I'm cool that I got the whole little setup already, and I'm happy with that. And I think that's just kind of what it is. But I think, like you said, it's fewer people out there, but you got to know what you're getting into when you're dealing with people. Some people just don't have that gene, that ability to deal with kids. Like I feel like I'm good with children, but my thing is too, as crazy as this world is, I just rather not deal with it because I don't know how I'll react with some of these stories I hear, some of these things I hear happening out here. If it was to happen to me, man, look, I'd be in a bad situation because I don't think I'd handle it well.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's nothing wrong with somebody who don't want to deal with people with kids, listen, I'd rather you be honest with me. Tell me you don't want to deal with kids because see, the kids is a package. When I date you, you gonna know off the first 5 minutes we're dating what I have, and I'm gonna look at your reaction. And also, not only that, I also look you up. Like I did a search. Like make sure you ain't no molester, no pedophile, no nothing like that. Because I know this is a whole different subject, but with the Britney thing and the poor baby Miss Malia, but she talking about he paid the bills and he was a provider. But yet you seen him punch your daughter in the head. Let me tell you something. I'll be in behind the jail because I'm not gonna let that happen. There's nothing in this world that's going to come before my kids. So if you meet a man and because dick good, he made you feel good, but he don't like kids, but you're going to try to make it work and try to make him like your kid, honey, I promise you it's not going to work. It's not going to work because he don't want kids and he don't like kids. I don't care how good it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I got a question for you, Miss Meek. This is a little bit off topic, but we were asking some questions last night, and we're trying to confirm something. So there's two words that are used to reference the male member primarily, and I'm curious which term you use. Do you use?
I use dick.
Okay.
I use dick because let me tell you something. When I hear cock, I think of a woman. I'm saying we cock our legs open. I mean, how can a man be a cock? We cock our legs open. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing to me. A dick is a dick, pussy's a pussy, or whatever. Ain't no cock, ain't no. And let me tell you something. When I gave my daughters the birds and the bees, when they were younger, I didn't use that. I said, yo, but JJ. I said, if anybody touch you, yo, JJ, I don't care if they're going to kill you. Woo, let me know. Now, when I seen they was sniffing up boys' asses, I said, okay, let me tell you something about your pussy. Okay? Let me tell you this about that. This is what that is, and this is what he got. That's why I'm not a grandma at 47, because I laid down the law. I was a mother early, but I refused to repeat that cycle. And then, all this sheltering your kids and all that, trust me, they going to learn them words.
Yep.
It's too much social media. There's too much internet out here. There ain't no sense in beating around the bush with stuff like that. I'm not saying tell your 4-year-old or your 3-year-old or nothing like that. But when you see, if you're a good parent, you're going to see them sniffing around. You don't use them silly words. A cock, what this? Okay, I've looked at porn. I like porn. I'm not going to lie. I only look at black porn. But I've looked at white porn too, and that cock stuff, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's not the male cock. Okay. That's the way that's what I call it. I call it dick.
Okay. No, I fuck with Miss Meek. Miss Meek keep it 1,000. That's my partner right there. Okay. Well, I didn't have to go too far into that. Well, I appreciate you for sharing that. Like I said, we just taking a survey. We just trying to find out, the proper preference.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, I know. I was listening last night, but I was halfway in and out of sleep.
Okay.
And I did comment one time. I was like, "Are these people kidding me?" And then that lady that called in and said she was black, so I call it cock. I was like, "Really, girl? No, you don't. Your mama ain't said that. You ain't heard your mama, daddy, no, like say that. Okay, but okay." But that's what it is. So I'm going to keep listening and hear everybody else's opinion on kids thing. But to make my final opinion, listen, if you don't want to be around kids, if that's your preference, just tell somebody. Like, don't fake it because it's good, because the dick good and the pussy good. Don't fake it. If you don't want to be around these kids. You know it. You know what you want in life. Just do it. That'll save a lot of heartache. That'll save a lot of this bullshit that's going on with these children. When you leaving your kids at home with these men who don't want kids, and your kids start crying, they kill them and all that kind of stuff. Just be honest. Like, I don't want no. There's plenty of people. There's somebody for everybody. There's a group for every group. You don't want no kids? Find you somebody with no kids. You want somebody with kids? Find you somebody with kids. Even though they might not be the best. So you got to screen them too, but it is what it is.
Okay. Okay. Well, Miss Meat, I thank you for calling in and sharing your
All right.
opinions, and you have a good
All
evening.
right. You too. Bye bye.
Oh, adios. And I'm telling you, I like Miss Meat more and more every time she called in. So I got a question though. So, there's these places, and I want to know how y'all feel about it. I forgot exactly where it was, but I want to say it was like in Arizona or something like that. And Arizona, New Mexico, one of those places. And it was a community basically where they didn't want to allow anyone with children to stay there. Or it was like a no kids community or something like that. And there's restaurants and places where, no kids allowed, things of that across the country. In that community, I think there was a big deal because they were like, they didn't want to pay school taxes because they weren't sending anyone, and there was no kids in that neighborhood. And so I want to know how y'all feel about that. Should a person or should a company or a business have a right to say, hey, you know what? We don't cater to children. We don't want children here. We don't want, we don't want anybody with kids in this neighborhood. Is that a problem in your opinion? Is that fair? Should that be allowed? Should people who don't want to deal with children have a place where they can be kid free? Because I can remember times I ain't had no kids going to little restaurants where them little kids just run around bad as hell. And I remember one time I was at me and my lady, we stopped by what was the fuck? This was some while back. What was the fucking place? What's the pizza buffet place? Fucking CC's. So we ran in there. We was lit. So it was like, fuck, we stopped at a little pizza buffet. And some little Mexican kids in there, they literally playing soccer in the fucking CC's. Look, I'll trip a kid. I ain't got no motherfucking problem, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, motherfucker, that motherfucker hit me with this soccer ball one more time. I don't care if it's just bumping my leg or not. This motherfucker come over, I'm gonna boop. I'll trip a kid in the grocery store if he too bad, goddamn it. What's the motherfucking deal, Professor Trill? What's on your mind, man? Say, fair, you don't want no kids messing up your rental property. Momo say, yeah. People have the right to establish their own rules. Okay. And say, you got kids, everybody shouldn't have to suffer because our kids terrible. Okay. Freedom of association, the very First Amendment, I already see no problem with it. Okay. I already Baker, man. Hey, appreciate you coming through. Put in that work. I already know you're going to get the job done. So what's the name of the basketball player that sued the kid for coloring his eyes? I didn't even know that happened. That's, yeah. Sue everybody. Sue the whole lineage. Scotty? Oh, Scotty. Scotty having a bad time lately, man. I'm telling you. Scotty, to us regular folks, rings mean everything. When it comes to championships and shit like that, rings don't mean shit to women. Just ask Future. So that's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? Scotty having a bad life right now. See, no kids don't agree with. They're gonna need doctors, lawyers, plumbers, so they must support the youth. Or they just go to old ass doctors. Motherfuckers still fucking using snake oil and shit. Using leeches and shit. I would not tell you how you kid. You just get you some leeches, do a little bloodletting, you'll be all right. What to say? What you mean? Just ask Future. I'm just saying, ask Future. He did this, hey. They got a song called what? 7 Rings. All I'm saying is, it is what it is. Pippin a mark anyway. I don't fuck with Pippin like that. I think it is. I guess you got the right to be, but I ain't tripping on what he said about Houston. That is not. I have no issue with what he said about Houston and the championship culture. That's not why I don't like it. Just don't like that nigga because he's just a mark. He looked like a mark. One of the videos of Chinese people fucking with you, I've never seen it. I'm gonna have to check that out. You know what I'm saying? Say a couple of kids okay, but no baby mama drama are allowed. Are you leaving? What about you, Queen of Petty? Do you have any children yourself? Oh, you see like a 5-year-old? Oh, yeah. Well, shit. Take all that nigga lunchable money, you know what I'm saying? And nigga ain't getting no high C's, you know what I'm saying? You need all his Legos. Go ahead and get that nigga a Nintendo Switch. Sue that nigga for everything you can. You say yes, it should be allowed now. The families are catered more to rather than us who choose not to have kids. Okay. Chantilly Lace. Good evening. How are you? How are you? How are you doing this evening? Shout out to Professor Trill for the suggestion of tonight's topic. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest, Josh. I don't think any sensible woman would let you around her kids. You dangerous. What you in there doing to my mama? Okay. And I see y'all talking about a video with Derek. I'm gonna check that out after the stream because I find that very interesting. Like I said, it's just gonna be so much. There's so many layers to this story that I can't wait to see how everything unravels. And then that bullshit ass interview Brittany did today, that bitch, that's a bullshit bitch right there. Whew, that's a bullshit bitch. Niggas, don't lay up with bras like that. That's a no-go. And I'm telling you, it's just something, it's hot out here, right? It's hot. If you in this, it's hot, okay? Not just in the garage, it's hot outside, God damn it. Why is this bitch always wearing jackets? Like, this bitch always got a motherfucking jacket on, a sweater on, like, some all black, it's just hot in Houston. You know what I'm saying? It is hot. Like, Amanda Garcia Vargas. That's a really bitch trash. Shout out to everybody. I don't know if the new subs are watching the video or if they actually in the live chat, but I appreciate it. All the subs that are coming in, all the new folks who are joining, all the people who are rocking with us this evening. Yeah, man, she squeezed this. I'm sure if I sit on this stream long enough and I always got them glasses on, that bitch be high as hell, repeating the questions. Sound like R. Kelly repeating them goddamn questions. Well, how, when we talk about teenagers, what are we really saying? You know, like, you heard the question, and that shit pissed me off. They was just lobbing her a bunch of softballs. They wasn't asking the real fucking question. That's a very good point. Everything in life, that's a very good point. Didn't think about that. So parents need perks up. We need people to procreate kids in the future. There's too many damn kids, God damn it. We need to get on that China shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, some of us are creative. Jaja, you get to some game, you'll learn some things. Until then, you just stick to the script and you'll be all right. You're gonna invest in a TV series called Surviving Honcho. That shit gonna last about a whole 32 seconds. Now you might find a bunch of money. Fuck that, Nick. No, actually, let me think about it. Except one. Every chick that I've ever fucked with no. Two, because I told you there was a false accusation, and that broad there, she still was trying to smoke my weed and shit back in the gap, but we ain't gonna get into that. But every chick that I've ever fucked with, except for two, you know, I guess you count the ones that, you know, we just lost contact and we were still on good terms. But every chick I've ever fucked with, I'm still on pretty much good terms. Exes, all that good shit. They exist and we on good terms. It's only two of them that I ain't necessarily rock with. One took offense to something, and then, you know, I'm not about explaining myself just because you misinterpret some things. And then the other, like I said, just tried to hit me with a whammy, and you know, people know my character. I'm better than that. There is no snapper good enough for me to ever have to take it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about the finesse. And I'm not even finna try to play. I'm gonna be straight up with you. And what Miss Meat said, she said something excellent about being honest with people. There was a chick, like I told you, I was dealing with it one time, and she made a comment. He was fucking around and shit. She's like, well, you know, what if a condom broke or something and, you know, I got pregnant? Would you want to have kids? I'm like, no, I don't want to have kids. Like I don't, I don't, no. And she got all upset about it. Ain't you, don't take it personal. I just don't want to have no fucking kids. But, it is what it is. People take things personally. And, I don't know what to tell you about that. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up with you. I'm not going to tell you I'm not a nigga that's going to tell a chick, oh, I love you just to get some pussy or all this other. I'm not, man. I'm not going to sell any dreams. I have no dreams to sell. All that Air Castle real estate, I don't have any on the market. I'm just, it is what it is. I'm going to be straight up with you. You don't need to fuck with it or you're not going to fuck with it. And that's what I think a lot of dudes need to learn. Niggas be trying to tell these chicks all kind of super off the wall, overly sentimental shit that they don't necessarily mean. And so I can understand why, we were talking about earlier about, the disconnect. I can understand the hurt. I can understand all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not finna lie to you. I have nothing to lie, but I'm not finna lie to you. You're gonna deal with what it is. Or if you're not with the program, hey, it's somebody else that is. And it's just like that. Say being a step parent is one of the hardest, most unappreciated jobs you could ever do. Okay. We think the whole coat thing is a thing for some big girls, no matter what. Damn that. You would think that you'd be even more. That would be like extra heat. Look, I'm trying to slim down. I still sweat like crazy. Fucking a coat? Shit, no. I could not imagine having a thin a little light jacket or sweater on this bitch. It is hot. It's hot out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn. Ain't no motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Hell no, that ain't good. Stop the nonsense. Just cause you on that collegiate noodle diet, nigga. I don't even think I'm the only nigga who eat noodles in this home. Fuck it, but they be too snooty for the noodles. Man, what? Oh, you too good for noodles? Oh, y'all ain't keeping it real. Y'all you supposed to be from the hood. Man, man, NPC, I got a story where it was a few years back though. It was a mistake on my behalf. Like I didn't realize what was going on, but I was at a bar one time and some motherfuckers thought I was clowning. They was asking me all these questions about the Texans and all this shit, and I'm just answering like as a fan, and I didn't peep it. You know what I'm saying? But they thought I was clowning. These niggas by, oh man, I got you this, and oh man, that's just asking me all these questions. And when it finally clicked, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with the shit. And motherfuckers said, hey man, you might take a picture before you go. Yeah, sure, man. And so I'm sure these motherfuckers that posted a picture on the gram thinking this cloudy is some old random ass nigga. But I actually ended up finding out one of the little dudes was he was brothers with this other guy that I couldn't stand. I used to play football with in high school, and I used to smash this old lady before the games, but I didn't like him. We had prior beef before he got with her and all that other stuff, so that's his fault. But shit happens. Yeah, I saw that on Queen Cash Me Out. I can't remember her name. I want to. She had a kind of a long name, but I tagged it in that last video. And yeah, how did the news find her? She had a very good point when she made it. Like, how did the news find her? How did she's the only one that got found, right? It's not like they followed her from Walmart. It's not like hey, let's just go to your apartment and let's see. She called them motherfuckers to tell them what happened, to get some attention. She wants attention. She wants TV time. So I believe that Lifetime movie shit. You know what I'm saying? I believe that Lifetime movie shit 100%. Like, you can't tell me look, man, people have a natural sense about them. I believe, you can call it a sixth sense, you can call it intuition, you can call it people's auras, everybody has different beliefs, whatever. But you can feel a person's vibe, and you ain't ever necessarily got to be directly around them. Brittany has a bad vibe about her, and to me, especially in that little live stream shit she did, or she was around, whatever you want to call it, it showed me that it was a lot of fraudulence going on. And again, I cannot get over I cannot get over, oh, but you like riding that dick comment. Like, this is a time you talking about, oh, you've been devastated, and again in that which link ain't working? Let me know so I can fix that. You know, it's like how do you get excited about that shit? You know, how the fuck you get excited about that? But you talking about, oh, you know, Malia has powered me through every day. No, the fuck she didn't, bitch. You ain't never even say her name. You never said the baby's name until, and that's why I say she's been looking on social media. She's been seeing what people have been saying. She knows what people are pointing out. And to me in that interview today, she tried to cause she had a lot of little behaviors that she has not had in the multiple interviews that she's done. You know what I'm saying? And so she's conniving. A word? See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know, she ain't said, well, I know she don't care. She's, you know, been prepping to put this act on. She still ain't said nothing negative about Darion, because she knows that she's involved in that shit. But we'll see what happens. All right, AOL time, man. Let's get a age, sex, location check. Where y'all? Who representing this evening? You know what I'm saying? What's your age? Are you male or female? And what's your location? You ain't got to put your actual city. You can put your state. 'Cause I know everybody don't want to put their business out there like that. But I would like to know, get a feel for the room. Where are people coming from? Where are people at? Who representing tonight? I'll drop my little something right here. You know what I'm saying? And what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening? Hello, hello.
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 Hey, this is Miss Meat again.
Okay.
I know you changed the subject right quick.
Yeah.
But to that Brittany thing right quick, let me tell you. First, okay, so remember earlier in your live this morning, I told you my daughter passed away last year. Let me tell you something. This lady had on makeup and everything. I'm going to tell you something. People had to force me to comb my hair. They had to force me to take a bath. They had to force me to eat. This lady sits here, and, you know, if I could punch her in her throat through the damn screen, I would. That is, see, and that's another thing. It still falls with the topic you said about, you know, with kids and having kids and women with kids. That's a baby mama from hell.
Yeah.
And, you know, and people is letting the daddy off easy, the biological father.
He a piece of shit.
First
Fuck
of all, if I knocked on the door and you told me that, oh, she's sick, but I just take my son, let me tell you something, I'm barging there. How you gonna take care of my baby better than me? Whether she had a flu, I don't care what she had. But Brittany, as a mama, that lady there, the only time she cried on that interview is when she started talking about her two boys. Everybody go back and look. The only time tears started falling down her face is when she started talking about them boys, not Malia. And like you said, this is the only time she mentioned her name today on this quote-unquote news interview. And I'm in a group with her group. Now, it's her group that her and her wretched-ass friends on that video created. You know what? When they made that video, I almost want to apologize for every black woman in the world. Like, Jesus, we don't act like that. I swear to God, we don't. I swear we don't. But the only time she cried is when she talked about them boys. And that's why I see some men don't want kids by a lot of women. And just like you said, hey, I don't want no kids. If you don't want them, man, don't have them. If she just a hit, if just a hit and quit, then do it and cover yourself and protect yourself. Because ain't nobody going to protect your kids but you. And that mama and that whole family. Because you can't tell me in August when that baby got that head bashed in. Did y'all see them pictures? Her whole side of her face was bashed in. So none of her family seen this. Now, if that was my sister and I walked in that hospital and I seen that baby like that, people talking about the police, you can't do this, you can't do that. Let me tell you something. I'll be on her couch every day. Somebody gonna give, because that's not finna happen. Her family didn't care, and why his mama had custody of them kids. His mama, Malia, wasn't even no kin to them. That lady is full of shit, and I hope like hell it ain't too many more mamas out there like that, because that case has really made me bring back memories of when my daughter died. Like, I would give anything to bring my child back, to give her a kiss. I would give anything. And, you know, she died from a sickness. She had lupus, something that people don't care about. They care about breast cancer. They care about this and that. But my daughter had lupus. She had 3 transplants. She was sick for 5 years straight. And I was there every moment, every minute, every second. And I would give anything to get my baby back. She was 23 when she died, but she was still my baby. This lady is acting like nothing happened to this girl. I want to find out who did it. But you know who did it. You did it. I still believe she did it, and he covered it up. Oh, and that trial I was telling you about the other day here in Georgia, her name is Tiffany Mouse.
Okay.
Tiffany Mouse trial. So, you know, when you can, look that up when you're done. But it's almost the same situation. But the stepmama did all the dirt, but the daddy knew she was doing it, and didn't stop her. So, you know, it still goes back to who want kids and who don't. Ask a person, hey man, I got kids. You want, you know, or you like being around kids? And for the people who don't want to be around kids, just be honest. Just be honest. It's always better just to be honest. But I'm gonna let y'all go. That's what I think. You start talking about Brittany, and that just ruffled my feathers. That bitch there, Lord, if I just give me 2 seconds, Jesus.
Man,
2 seconds, straight throat punch, Sparta kick, everything, and I can't wait. Because, see, what they about to do, they about to start telling on each other. They about to start throwing each other under the bus. That's what's about to happen, and I can't wait till it happens.
Yeah.
Because that lady was at home the morning that girl died until 9:50. She lied on her live with her wretched-ass friends. Then she left at 8:30. No, ma'am. No, sir. She didn't leave that house at 9:50. And I still believe she killed her. If I'm wrong, I'm like you. I'll say it on live stream. I was wrong. But I don't think so.
Well, I don't think so either. Ain't no way. It's just because there's too many things that don't add up. And, you know,
Right.
It ain't that many fools on earth.
And she still has never said, if it was me and this ninja, because I don't say that word, this ninja killed my baby, man, I would, Lord, I'll probably have somebody go to jail just to get him. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. But she has never said nothing, posting these videos and all that. It's just ridiculous. So people, find out if the person you want to be with, if the person you want to be around wants kids.
Yeah.
They give you a sign. Just watch those signs if you have kids. There's a lot of single fathers. I have friends that's a lot of single fathers. You got to watch these women just as well. These single mothers got to watch these men. All right.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll let you tomorrow.
All right, Miss Mead, I appreciate you calling and sharing that.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
And I agree, you know. I agree. That fucking bitch don't give a shit, man. And it's just all about her and whatever's serving her needs. And she killed me in that interview. I did whatever the kids need for them. So they know you fucking didn't, you know. You were out there trying to do whatever you can to benefit you. That's why he was sticking with old buddy, because he was taking care of everything. He was taking care of the kids. And I talked about that, you know, when you see them little pictures. She posted up a bunch of pictures the other day on the social media, but yet, you know, in them text messages, I lost all the shit. It was in the old phone. Now you got pictures that, you know, from way back when, but in them pictures you see it's him holding on to her at the birthday celebration and all that other stuff. Those are the things that tell me, you know, she wasn't involved in baby's life. She's probably posted on that couch watching whatever, or on that porch smoking whatever. And again, I ain't knocking nobody if you smoke. If you're smoking my little raggedy blacks, or If you smoke weed, that's your thing. You know, as long as you're handling your business, I can't judge you. But that bitch ain't shit, man. That bitch ain't shit. Man, yeah, that's funny. You know, especially if, man, we see so many of them, I don't even want to get into that. But how do you deal with family members that are like Brittany, man? That's tough. That's real tough. That's tough. Because I know I got some ratchet ass family members, but they all on my pop side, and I ain't seen them in decades. So that's just that. Well, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho, it's V.
Miss V, how are you doing this evening, Miss V? What's on your mind?
I'm good. My opinion is that you have to be very careful when you're dating a person with kids, especially women, because we see too many stories these days where the man was a pedophile, and had she taken the time to know that instead of moved too swiftly, she could have saved her kids from having experienced that. I was reading a story the other day where this girl had went to school and told them that the father was bothering, the man had moved into the house and he had been touching her and stuff like that. And they got in touch with the mother and everything, and the mother said she was lying. Well, you know how the court system moves real slow, so she ended up moving to Indiana with the child and the man, and he ended up getting her pregnant, and she was 10 years old at the time when she got pregnant. But he ended up getting 160 years, but the mother should have got time as well.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And there's some crazy ass stories out there. And the sad thing is that if you're looking for it, you can find a story like this damn near every day, if not multiple stories. And so I know Miss Meeta called. She said, you know, hopefully there ain't too many other mothers out there like this. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of them. I remember watching a little video the other day, and this is with more of a, I think she was like a teenage girl. And she was talking to her mom in the kitchen, and she recorded the shit. And she was telling her, you know, hey, you know, mom, your boyfriend, you know, he been trying to come in my room at night, and he been saying some things, and he kind of, you know, touched me in a way I wasn't too comfortable with. And the mom started going off on the daughter. Well, you shouldn't be wearing, you know, this, that, and the third. You know, he a man, and, you know, this, and this. Like, there's no justification. And it's sad because I feel like in this world you have a lot of women who are envious of their own daughters. And I think that's sick and it's disgusting. You know, you should be putting your child before anybody. If your child is saying something like that, you need to listen. You know, but instead they'll blame the child. They'll, you know, say she just like you just said, she's saying something where they move or they, you know, avoid the situation, and then it happens. It's too late. You know, and they still don't give a shit after that. You know, they still probably hold. So I'm pretty sure that woman you just talking about probably still holds some type of contempt for her child for that. You know.
Oh yeah, because the man went to jail for all that time, you know. And if my child comes to me, well, it actually has happened where I had to go to work one day, and my husband had went to work as well, so I had my friend watch my daughter. She was 6 at the time. She's 10 now. Well, she has 2 boys, but they were also young. The oldest one was 11, and the other one was 8. Well, when I picked my daughter up, I noticed that she was acting kind of, you know, strange or whatever. She didn't say anything while we were there, but when she got to the car, she was like, "Mama, that boy tried to do something to me." And I said, "What you mean he tried to do something to you?" And she's like, "He had told me to come to his room because he wanted me to see his cell phone or whatever." And I was like, okay. So she went to the room, and he had threw a cover over them and told her to lay down. And when she laid down, he tried to take her pants off and everything. And he's 11 years old.
Yeah.
So you can't only not trust adult men. You got to watch these other boys too, and girls.
And where do you think they get that type of mentality from?
Well, it's the same girl that I was telling you about that was doing that with her husband.
Well, that's.
So I'm thinking that maybe that the man that did something to his kids. Because where would he get that from?
Yeah. You got to see that's learned behavior.
And then after all this came out, you know, I had brought it to their attention, and the man gonna tell me that my daughter was lying. I said, where would a 6-year-old? Why would she make this up? She's never been exposed to anything like this. And why wouldn't you want to get to the bottom of it, whereas your child could be going out abusing other kids, but you immediately want to say that a 6-year-old child is lying? So from that, my daughter can't be around nobody.
Yeah.
I'm very I can't trust nobody now. I was just in shock, and then just the way that they handled the whole situation. I was like, he needs to get some help. And y'all need to find out why he's doing this at 11 years old, because then it came out later that he had been, now this is kind of strange, it's beyond strange actually. She had walked in the room one night, and the older boy was laying in the bed with the younger boy, and she asked what they were doing. And the younger boy had said that the older one had been digging in his own butt, pulling out feces and trying to wipe it on him. Like, where would he get this kind of weird, what kind of houses, what do y'all have going on over here?
Yeah, that's beyond foul. No, I don't got no words for that type of, I wouldn't say for that type of shit. It's literally shit.
Yeah, so CPS that came over there and had investigated the whole thing, and this goes back to the CPS dropping the ball, because these stories here is just not normal. But they let them remain in the home because they couldn't find anything else. But to me, that's enough to remove them from the home for a while, because they were so terrified of their mother and what she would do, they wouldn't say too much of anything.
I think it has to be something with that. If you already talking about the man, like weird stuff, he already sneaking around doing other shit, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but women really have to be selective. Even you have to date that man a while before you bring him around your children. And, it's just that. I'm not saying that a man shouldn't date a woman with kids or vice versa, but you have to really be selective about it.
Yeah. You got to look for all the red flags. You got to look for all. I mean, if something stands out to you, you have to pay attention to it.
Yes, especially with how these teenage girls is built up these days. You can't just bring no random man in the home, because they not built like, they build, a lot of them look like women. So
it's the chicken. It's that Popeyes. That steroid chicken doing it.
Well, that's all. I just want to give my thoughts on that, and I'll let somebody else call in.
All right, Miss V. Well, I appreciate you calling in and sharing that with us, and that's wild. That's a terrible thing. But I appreciate your call.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, good evening. Female pimp, go watch the damn stream if you want to know what I said. Shit. Shit. Hey, look, I ain't no damn parrot. But yeah, that's disgusting. That child is gonna have. He's already on a rough path for digging shit out your ass. That's fucking nasty, man. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hi, this is Marie calling again.
Hi. How are you
I
doing this evening, Marie?
huh?
I said, how are you doing this evening, Marie?
I'm doing fine. I'm a bit hoarse, but doing fine, thank God. But I wanted to speak to, just in case there are any younger women that's listening tonight. You know, my two sons. I have two sons, and they're grown men now. But my mom married the biggest jerks in America back in the 80s. And he, of course, became my stepfather, and he was physically and emotionally abusive to me. And on the day I turned 18, I left my mother's house with 50 cents to my name. And my two sons, they're 7 years apart. After I broke up with my first son's father, I had promised myself that I would never, ever marry. Marrying is off the page as far as I'm concerned, because I wasn't going to allow any man to come in and treat my kids the way that I was treated. I'm not saying all stepfathers or step parenting are bad, but I wasn't willing to take that chance. I was not going to take that risk. My two sons could tell you, anybody, that I have never brought a man through my door while raising them, and it wasn't easy. I'm not going to sit here and say it was easy. It wasn't easy. It was hard, but if I had to do it again, I would do it the same way again. If it's not the father, then I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. And I made that sacrifice because my kids didn't ask to be born. I brought them here with the help of God, and it's my duty to make sure that they're safe. And if it means me having to do without for them to be safe, then that's what's going to happen. That's what took place. That's what happened. And like I said, they're grown now. They're both college graduates. My youngest, he's getting ready to start grad school at Northwestern. My oldest, he's going to be finishing up. Starting school for dentistry. They're 30 and 22, 23. So, anyone that's listening, thinking that, you have to have a man to feel validated and to feel, to raise your kids, it's a myth as far as I'm concerned. It can be done, it's not easy, but it can be done. And so your kids to be safe, it's a sacrifice that's worth taking or making, but that's what I have to say tonight.
Okay. So I have a question for you, Miss Marie. Now that the kids are grown and out on their own doing their own thing, have your feelings towards marriage changed, or are you kind of set in your ways?
Well, now it's changed, but I'm also, it's like whatever God sends, whatever God have in store for me, I'm welcome to it. If I'm supposed to be single the rest of my life, then that's what it's gonna be. If I'm supposed to be married, then God will let it happen. But I'm living my life, and I didn't regret the choice that I made, because if a man was supposed to hurt my children when they were younger, if they were to be abusive to my sons, then I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I would definitely be in prison, because I remember while living under my mother's roof, I used to literally lay there and plot my stepfather's death. That man don't even know how many times I planned on poisoning his food or whatever, and when it comes to my kids, because of that, I'm very, very, very protective. And I was very protective with them. And, I just wouldn't allow any man to come in and
treat my kids like shit. It's not gonna happen. It wasn't gonna happen. Mm-mm. Not on my watch.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, Miss Maria, I appreciate you sharing it. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that?
That's it for well. For as far as Malia is concerned, I live in Illinois, and I really want to try and make it down there for the funeral. If it's open to the public, because it really hurts my heart for what this child went through. I have yet to believe Brittany in anything that she has said. She is like I don't know. She seems evil. She has her spirit even seems evil to me, and with her not hiding her eyes, I take that that's a big one for me. If I can't see your eyes, if you're hiding your eyes, I can't trust you. And she seems to have do a good job at that. Sometimes she would, if she doesn't even have the glasses on, she would have her eyes closed at certain times in her interviews, and she's not to be trusted.
I agree.
So that's what I'm saying. So you guys have a good night.
All right, you too, Miss Maria.
I'm Sam Silly Lace on
Okay.
on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. You being a participant in the stream and calling in. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Good night.
All right, good night.
Bye-bye.
Shout out to Miss Marie, and that sacrifice is commendable. And a lot of parents, a lot of single moms, a lot of single dads too don't want to make that sacrifice. Once you have those kids, you have to, you have to do what's best for them. And a lot of people don't want to do that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Josh, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind this evening?
All right, man. About the about the parent and the kid issue, kid from another person, like parent and stuff. I'm just gonna go out and say this, and I'm not gonna say this to rub on anybody's toes, but that's really not, my goal or intent for anyone. I mean, for me personally, to go into a relationship that has a kid already there, like, because for me, that's really like one of my big turnoffs. Really, is to be in that situation, because you don't want to have a situation where also you get into it and take better care of that kid, and all of a sudden, man, come back jealous and want to harm you, do something else to you, or all of a sudden a woman that you with still love that person, but you just there as a placeholder and stuff like that. So it would really have to take, I guess, God intervention or God himself for me to even allow myself to even go into a relationship where a kid's already present. But in a rare case that if that does happen, everybody should probably model raising a kid after this one person that pretty much everybody knows of in the football realm, because he was a guy that everybody doubted. Third round pick, no one really thought about him. Went to NC State, went to Wisconsin, played a little bit, got drafted in the NFL. Won the Super Bowl, lost one, but it is what it is. You win and you lose one. But he ends up going out with someone famous right now, and he's showing that kid that was already made by another person, but he's showing that kid how a dad's supposed to treat his son or his daughter, pretty much, and they're living a great, wonderful life. And I just hope that every kid has that opportunity one day. So it is what it is.
So who's to say that his original dad wasn't treating him right?
I mean, he could have, but I mean, there's levels to this. I mean, he could be treating them better. I mean, as it looks for it, I mean, from the outside looking in, because I always see from the outside that kids living a better life than the person that was before.
How so? Just because they post more of it on social media?
I remember what I just said, like how it looks from the outside.
But what I'm saying, like that. But you can't make that assumption. You just see more of it, but that doesn't. We know what social media is. It's a bunch of filtering of lifestyles and things of that nature. So I wouldn't make that assumption necessarily. I think, but they put it on display and
Okay,
everything else.
but in this situation, like, so who you think I'm talking about?
I mean,
You probably haven't figured it out
there's
already.
only one person you talk about. It's not like there's some cryptic, secret, ancient Egypt decoded message. We talking about Super Hawaiian Shirt himself. What the fuck is in my eye? And again, like I said, I can understand that. But here's the thing why this, to me, that old buddy's kind of whack. To me, I feel like I don't think that's necessarily anything about being just a great dad. I'm not saying that he isn't. But to me, he's more so trying to prove to that woman that he can outdo some other man by, raising his child or whatever. But again, we know mom's going to have custody the majority of the time. But to me, that doesn't say that he's doing a better job. To me, that's more about proving it to that woman than it is about, anything else, that he just wants to provide a better life for that kid. Me personally, I think there's a bunch of shenanigans going on behind it. Damn, what's in my eye? And, he need to help her get in that goddamn studio, sell some goddamn albums instead of just a couple of hundred. You're supposed to be a superstar, and you're only selling a few hundred albums. That says something about you. But, it is what it is.
So you are one of the people that says that people shouldn't follow his model, just in case you're in that situation where you end up raising a kid that's not your biological own. Is that case? So is Russell Wilson a good or bad example to you?
I don't think it's just a person who's doing it. I don't think he's necessarily a good or bad example. It's when you're comparing yourself to somebody, if you're a regular person, a superstar athlete or somebody who has millions of dollars, they'll show you the pictures when they're around, but you don't know if they have nannies and all other kind of stuff. So their situation is not going to be the same as your average individual. It's cool, pose and take pictures, but it's a lot of people's pictures with Brittany Bowens, the daddy of that kid, taking pictures and doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, he's supposed to be there with what happened when everything went down. He's nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. Pictures mean nothing to me. So that's all I'm saying. Social media is taken with a grain of salt, because people are going to pose and they're going to put the image out there that they want you to see. You know what I mean? And to me, it's not about being in competition with the baby's real father or anything like that. If you're doing that, that's because the woman is motivating you to do so. She's telling you a bunch of shit so you feel like you got to prove something. I'm not saying he's not genuinely caring for the child, but the way he puts stuff out there, that's about trying to be in some type of deliberate competition, in the media, whatever social status that he's trying to obtain from it or whatever. But it's about truly caring for that child and doing your best as a parent, if that's what you're going to take on. It ain't about no competition. It ain't about the real dad. It ain't about nobody else but that child and the woman that you're with. So that's how I look at it.
Okay, and one more personal question. Is the person you're raising right now, is their biological father, like, is he alive?
No, I've said that multiple times. He's not alive.
Damn. Okay, sorry to hear that for her. But I'm just glad you're in her life. I'm glad that she's able to see a real father figure to see how it goes. But, me, I was trolling just to see, because I know you be calling Russell Wilson a simp for whatever reason. I don't understand why.
No,
But it is.
It's not about, like I say, it's just he's a simp before he ever got married. He's just, the dude is just the simp by nature. So that's a reason why that locker room didn't like him. It's a reason why all those other things took place. His character is questionable. I'm not saying he's a bad dude, but his character is just questionable. His integrity to me is questionable. If you're willing to abandon a franchise that gave you a shot, that puts you on the map, that puts you in a position to be where you are, because this new woman in your life says she wants to live in New York. Not where you built your legacy, not where you became who you were, but you're willing to abandon all that because, wife said so. And that's fine, if that's what you want to do what you do. But to enhance her career because she wants to live that E-News lifestyle, which is the same reason why Future said that they split up, because she want to have this big ass wedding on TV and all this. Like, that should tell you something about her character. And he's just kind of acquiescing. That's fine. If that's what you want, do what you do. I can't tell anybody how to have the relationship. But to me, he's just not saying he's a bad dude, but he's not that dude. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, so let's just take an argument. Wake up in the morning, your old girl wins millions of dollars to the point where she can do what she really want to do with her career and wants to move somewhere else, and you gonna be against that?
But I'm not. No, the city. I'm not. I don't owe them anything. They don't owe me anything. I'm not signed to a team. I'm not forcing anybody's hands. I have the ability to move around as I please. So it's not to me.
So
It's
if
not the
you
same
was
situation.
like, so if you was, would it be different then?
Would it be different? What do you mean?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like, if you were in Russell Wilson's situation and like our wife was like, you know what, man, I want to move to this city because it's better for my career.
Their career
Would you
fucking
be
sucks.
different?
We look, hey, well, baby, look, sell 1,000 albums, sell more than a couple of hundred albums. Then we'll talk about that next time your album drop. But I'm here with a
So
team
good
that's
or
on.
you not?
Huh? My career is better than her career, so she's gonna have to accommodate. If I'm Russell Wilson, I'm the one that just bought your masters because of what I've done, my performance. I'm the one that makes significantly more income. I'm much more relevant. You chose me because of all that stuff. She's gonna have to deal with it. You don't have to be in New York. You can go fly out that way, go take a little trip, do your little press tour, whatever the fuck you got to do. But this is where I make my money. This is where I became who I am, and this is why you know me, because this is the place that built me. I'm gonna have loyalty to that team or whatever else it is. If they're willing to pay me now, if it's a different contractual situation or whatever, but to force the extension and do all the stuff he did, which they did, pay him and all that, which is cool, and then I ain't mad about anybody getting any money. But because of your feelings, it's not going to control my overall career and my outcome, just because you want to be in the big city. So no.
Okay, man. I think that's cap, but I'll leave that alone. But it is what it is.
Well, ain't no cap. There ain't no cap. So how many teams passed? How many teams passed on Russell? How many times? And this team was willing to give you a shot when you had a decent little career and everything in college. But it's a lot of teams that didn't give. New York ain't give you no love when they had the opportunity to fuck with you. So my thing is this. I'm not saying, and I'm not telling any player that they have to be loyal, but if your team is actually showing loyalty to you, which few teams do, Seattle seems to be a decent franchise, I'm not going to press their hand just because my wife says so because she wants to be somewhere when this is where I'm making money and I make more money. I'm not going to, we're going to have to get some understanding just because you want to be in the limelight, just because you want to be a celebrity couple or some shit like that. Fuck that.
Well, I would have been like, good luck with that, and I'm glad you're not in that situation right now. But it is what it is.
I can already see who's going to run your relationship, Josh. Tis.
Nah, it ain't that, because like me, I know, I got a 5 or 6 point plan of what I'm going to do when that happens. So that's why I think like that. I don't just be on some, if shit happen, I ain't going to know what to do.
But and then I'm pretty sure, I know Seattle's not a cheap city, but I'm sure it's much more cost efficient to live in Seattle, than to live in New York for the sake of what? Sierra can't sell no albums. See, this is why I'm saying, and people like me and my old lady, we get into this all the time about this Sierra Russell situation. You just be hating on Sierra is foul. That's not about none of that. But then she came back to that. You was right. She only sold a couple of albums. She was on TV begging people to buy her album because how are you supposed to be a superstar or a big ass artist? You're only selling a couple of hundred albums. Niggas doing that with mixtapes, right? So again, my thing is this. The reason why I don't care for Sierra, and it ain't really just the future thing is whatever, but this man helped her when she was irrelevant, when she had fell off the map, nobody was checking for Sierra. This man helped her write 2 hit songs that put her back on the map. She didn't get his man album credit. She didn't get his man any kind of record. This is supposed to be your husband. This is your husband who helped you get back on the map, who helped revive your career. And you can't get his man credit on the album. You can't get his man something because that's how in the music industry that album credit shit is huge. Even just that little name right there is huge. And then when you go to working on your new album, you don't want him, and he was him and somebody else. He said that because they worked together on it. She didn't want to give them any kind of recognition. How are you gonna do that to your own husband? And if you want to do that to your own husband, then that tells what kind of character you are. That tells, or your fiance or whatever you want to call it. That tells what your character is like. Again. That's fine. If you like that type of shit, if that's that's fine. I'm not gonna buy that shit. It's a lot of niggas who would be happy to be with that. Plus, she ain't even my type. She ain't built right. So again, my thing is this: if you like it, hey, I love it. If it makes you happy, but I like to fancy myself a very good judge of character, and trust me, it's a lot of stuff about Sierra I just don't care for, and that's fine. If you like it, I can't, whatever. There's a reason ain't nobody buying that fucking raggedy ass album now. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why she didn't have hits for so long. And then, she give a future, she put a couple of little things out, and then she back on top, and now she flopped again. So all I'm saying is, I'm not going to sacrifice my career, especially in this day and age where marriages don't last anyway. I'm not going to sacrifice my career where I'm eating good and I'm making plenty of money when you came to me with that, and just because you want to be somewhere else where you can get more fame and notoriety, and she can't blame not living in New York for the reason that her fucking album flopped. So that's just my thing.
Well, okay, man, but now I mean, but serious though, cause I really hope that real love brought you and your own ladies together, and not a real situationship that happened, or y'all need each other to survive or something like that, or it ends up being a situation where all of a sudden
it ain't no survival. They
What?
eating good. They eating good off his salary alone. She married. She's what the ladies like. She secured the bag. So she just wants to have her own, and there's nothing wrong with having her own.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about you and your old lady. I'm not talking about you. No, because you was like, man, like I'm not wasting my career, nothing like that. Because my thing is like I thought marriage supposed to be like sacrificing and stuff like that. So,
but smart sacrifices. Smart sacrifice. If I'm the breadwinner, why would I sacrifice for the other party? That doesn't make any sense. You should have to acquiesce
to
what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Ooh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
This nigga Josh, man.
Nah, because you don't.
Because you be intertwining things, man. And all I'm saying is this: if a situation comes up and it's a better situation entirely for the entire family, then we make that move. If it's not a better situation, it's just doing some shit just to do some shit, and in the long term, really, it's going to be more cost. It's going to be more costly in the long run without the necessary return on investment. Then why do that? Just because I feel a certain way? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the real outcome from this? So if there's no justification for doing it, then no, I'm not gonna fucking do it. But if there is a reasoning and say, okay, we can be in a much better situation, there's much more opportunity here, we can leverage this, and this in our favor, then yeah, let's go tomorrow. But if there's no reason to do it just because you feel a certain way, you think that you could do this, then when you have the money to travel anywhere you want to at any given fucking time, and then go take your ass to New York for a couple of months or go do what you got to do. I can fly out there, come fuck with you can fly back home, whatever the fuck you got to do. So there's nothing is limiting her from finding success except for her lack of talent. That's it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this situation, you can't compare some multi-millionaire situation to me or what I got going on, So again, it's two completely different things. It's apples and cranberries shit.
Okay, man. I'm just, yeah. Thanks for clarifying. I'm just very sure. So you actually a breadwinner with no real job. All right, man. Really grinding out here.
Man, get your hustle, Josh. Man. Get your hustle. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be like, doubt. I can see, and I really hope because you and your lady on talking about this, man. I just hope they don't rub down to your daughter to the point where she turns into the next Meg Thee Stallion or some shit.
Nigga, you say that shit again, Josh. If you say that shit one more time, I'm gonna block your motherfucking ass. Stop comparing the little, because you always make these references to some Meg Thee Stallion or one of these old bopping ass bitches that I cannot stand. If you make a reference to, if you no, it ain't no mad. That shit is lame. It's because it makes me question your character that you're comparing a child to one of these bopping ass bitches that's out there twerking and doing all this other shit. That makes me question your character. And I'm being straight up with you. Stop comparing a child to anything that got to do with Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, any of these motherfuckers. It makes you look bad. Don't make me look any kind of way. You're comparing a child, a 9-year-old child, to these fucking stripping ass whores or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Stop doing that.
As wild as this world is,
man.
Right?
But you know what? That's why I'm the father. That's why I'm the father figure, because I ain't standing none of that bullshit. That bullshit ain't happening on my watch. I can guarantee you that.
All right, and that's good. I'm not saying it's not. Okay. I'm just saying, like, as crazy as this environment is.
Man, it ain't crazy enough. It's not crazy enough to overcome my parenting. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
I'll lay a foundation, so don't make that reference no more. Exactly. That's all it is with that.
All right, fine. I'm just saying, as crazy as this world is, I'm just saying.
All right, Josh. I appreciate your call, babe.
All right.
Anywho, because to me that's odd. You know what I'm saying? Like that even that line of thinking to think those thoughts is peculiar to me. Like I'm not playing that game. You know what I'm saying? Again, it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no emotion, nigga. You talking about a kid and you comparing it to a fucking stripper. What are you thinking? What kind of thoughts are going into your head when you're doing some shit like that? That makes me question you. It ain't about emotion. It's about, man, stop that fucking nonsense. Because it makes me think that you're thinking of a small child in a very odd way. It makes me question you. And I'm being straight up with you. Like, straight up. I told you my goal out here is that I'm going to protect that child. I'm going to protect my old lady. I'm not going to sit here and listen to this nonsense. Because like I say, you made references to it before. I didn't let it slide. I done gave you an ultimatum. Don't say that fucking shit no more. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't know nobody play that music around my child. Yes, and I said my child. If I'm in her life, I'm holding that shit down. Like, fuck all that nonsense. Like, I don't understand how hard it is to comprehend. You got to get out in life and get you some fucking experience, man. Like, straight up. You got to get out in life and get you some experience. You have no idea how wild the world is. I was a part of that wild world. You know, shit, sometimes I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm dipping a toe in the water. Sometimes I still, you know, hey, trust me. I could up my situation quickly. But because I've made decisions to better myself, to be a part of a family, and things of that nature, I don't do those things. Like, that nonsense is not shaking. Don't listen to no shit around a child like that. She knows better. When if kids on the bus playing music and shit like that, you know, we talk about that shit. This is what this is. Like, I lay a foundation. Do you understand? I make sure there is understanding. Do you understand? Like, I don't play that shit. Like I tell y'all, don't get the YouTube personality confused with my real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop that fucking nonsense, man. Like, straight up. Everything else is fun and games. But when you talking about kids and comparing them to shit like that, that's weird fucking shit. Ain't no Holly weirdo. It ain't no none of that weird. That shit is fucking weird shit. And it makes me question your line of thinking. Straight up. Like, why are you comparing a small child and viewing it in any kind of light, any kind of anything with Megan Thee Stallion? Yeah, they may be ratchet motherfuckers out there that's doing that kind of shit. Not in my household. We don't play that kind of music. I don't support that kind of nonsense. I don't really listen to rap music around her. Like, that is not what it is. And I'm not trying to protect her from nothing. Any questions she has, we sit down as a family and we discuss things. I make my points, her mom makes her points. If she asks questions, we ask questions. I'm hands-on. Like, miss me with that fuck shit, man. Like, that shit. Look, y'all know I don't get too irritated too often. But it's certain things that we just, you know, there's certain borders we're not gonna cross. And it's I talk shit, you know, I talk about how, you know, when she get her ass done bad in fucking soccer and little things like that. So it's not about, oh, you just being too sensitive about the kid. We don't care, don't compare my child to none of these stripping ass whores. Do you understand? Like, none of these fucking old bopping ass bitches, that shit ain't shaking. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, I'm trust me, y'all know I'm a laid back person. I laugh at everything. Niggas be talking shit, y'all be capping and all that other shit. That's fine, that's cool. I have no problems with that. Just all have a good time. I find it odd that you bring the child, like, what are you thinking so much that you so worried about my child? Anyway. My motherfucker. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee this late at night. I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna report your ass for being a fucking pedo. You worried about fucking kids. Like, stop with that bullshit ass nonsense, man. That shit is weird. Like, who thinks of kids like that? That shit is extremely odd behavior. That's not normal. Shit. Reporting you, Max, you saying some old goofy ass shit, like, whatever, man. Anyway, you know, I like to keep things on the up and up. So let's get back in a better mood. like I say, it don't take a lot to understand some shit. It's very simple to understand a person's way of thinking. And that shit ain't natural. That shit ain't natural. So again, yeah, and it's like I say, you know, it's a lot of kids that listen to a lot of this off the wall stuff, but not in my household. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I saw, but I didn't get a chance to read. Now that's the one they ran up on when he was in his car. Well, I say, man, trust me, you got to be uber cautious in this world. Trust me, and I understand how the world works. So that's my deal. You understand? Like, when you get out and have some experience in your life, you're going to understand some things. When you go certain places, you be in some environments, you're going to understand some shit. All right, Miss Keisha. Trust me. You know? I used to be out there with the wolves. I know better. You know, I had to make decisions to do better for my motherfucking self. So you ain't telling me nothing about no crazy ass world. Look, I'm cool in a motherfucker, but we can just as wild. Whatever level we want to go to, we can get gone to. So I ain't worried about none of that nonsense. Like, well, Kenneth Copeland's a famous preacher. He's been around for a long time. But he one of them motherfuckers that, you know, got the biggest states and all the other good shit going for him. You know, like, that shit there, man, is like, look, we can crack jokes, we can do all kind of shit, but you steadily trying to force the issue on some nonsense. Like, come on, man. Ain't no fucking justification for no shit like that. Oh, she bought a plane from Tyler Perry. Damn. But yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. All these motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? All these motherfuckers out here, these preachers got big money. I'm finna start me a church. I don't know what I'm preaching though. I just want a plane, you know, I'm trying to get my plane on. You know, we gotta get some donations so I can get me a plane like Creflo. I'm start calling myself Honcho Dollar. Man, oh man, crap! I saw that and I meant to talk about. Man, I'm glad you mentioned that. Because it was around that same time. Was talking about that age gap love shit. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't fuck with Snapchat. Snapchat is super fucking suspect. You know what I'm saying? It's super fucking like, and that's why I never really fucked with it from the jump, because they would always be sending the little pride things and all that other stuff. Like, I don't care about that. Like, you know, you are what you are, whatever you want to be, cool. I'm not gonna attack you, but I'm not an ally to shit that I don't support. So if you with that shit, that's fine. You know, you welcome in the den, you can speak your piece or whatever. But I'm not out here rooting. I'm not on the fucking. I'm not, you know, pride positive or whatever you want to call the shit. None of that fucking shit. You know, you do what you do, but I'm not pushing that agenda. And so that's a long time ago I stopped fucking with that shit. And you see it now with that fucking filter where they turn in men into women and women into men. They trying to just blur all the fucking lines, man. That shit is not what's up. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hello?
Hello. Miss Rashida, how you doing this evening, Miss Rashida?
I'm all right. I just want to change the mood a little bit, because that was some straight bullshit and some simp shit he just did. He just doing that shit. He needs to be put up out of there. But that's just my opinion, which might be a little biased, because y'all know I don't like him, period.
Straight up.
But anyway, on to the topic. I definitely, 100%, do not want no man with no kids. No. Okay. Even though I love the kids in my family, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's a no-go for me. I'm too old and I don't have the patience for kids.
Don't have the patience.
I don't have the patience.
Nah, I don't believe that. You're a very patient woman, Miss Rashid, and I know you're
No,
working. I know you're working on
you know
yourself.
what?
You need a little, a little,
Go
a
ahead.
little, a little one running around the crib. Just so you can appreciate life.
No, no. I'm good because I be ready to karate chop my little nephew to the throat. He's 13 and he feel like he can go toe to toe with me and say what he want to say. No, sir. No, you at my house and then think you can talk to me? No. See, I'm from the old school days where you ain't talk back to your mom. You did, she hit you in your mouth.
Yeah.
She ain't had time to go get no bill. You got hit right there in the mouth on the spot.
Straight up, man. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Why do you think that's changed? Because people let kids all in the conversation. When I was young, it was, hey, this is an adult conversation. Take your ass in the room, or you know,
Exactly. Now these kids sit around you and want to get in the conversation with adults. And I would have to tell him sometimes, you need to find you something else to do. Because you like to sit up on the grown people. And when they do that, I feel like they make them more grown or think they grown. You ain't paying no bills around here. You're not grown, you know. But I be really trying to do the best I can. Cause he be over here, him and his brother, they be over at my house every weekend. But it's getting rough and rougher, boy. I wish I could go back to the days when they was young, cause they was so changed. Now the 13-year-old, he done turned to a little demon.
why do you think that is?
Um, I think he needs more like male role models out there in his life. Cause my brother, his father is deceased. He's been deceased for about 10 years.
Okay.
So we've been helping out with him, and I don't want to throw nobody under the bus in my family now, but my mom and them, they so easy on him. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And I was the one that was trying to do the, I don't want to say do the discipline, but like try to get him to act right, and they would be like, oh, you shouldn't be rough on him, or they would just in a way try to tell me to be quiet, and I feel like that he I don't know, he just didn't really have the discipline that he should have had. That's all. That's how I'm saying it. Well, not over here because his mama don't play.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But when he come over here, he feel like, oh, I'm free. I can say and do what I know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going because I be straight ready to ride a chop him to the toe, and then I be like, Rashida, you know better than that. Don't do that.
Why everybody hitting throats tonight? Everybody going for the throat tonight. Look, the people gonna be choking.
You remember Bernie Mac and he used to say, I bust his head to the white meat? Rashida, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well,
And
no.
then my younger nephew, he's only 8, right? And he got a smart mouth like me. So it's kind of difficult for me to say things when I know that he's kind of been watching. I don't even really want to say it, but I think I've been a little bit of a bad influence on him. But, with my, smart mouth and everything, because he definitely does mimic some of my behaviors. So that's why I said I'm working on me.
Well, yeah, the children
I
will
just
do.
keep it real. It is what it is. I just keep it real with y'all.
Yeah, I mean the kids, they're gonna pick up what they see. But with your
Exactly.
with the 13-year-old, and I know you said that his father passed away about 10 years ago, and you said he comes to spends time with family. Is it mostly the females in the family?
Yeah, he's around a lot of women, and I was telling his mother that
she should find him like a mentor, male mentor. I would say it like that because she has a brother, but he worthless. And then I have brothers, but they be busy at work and they not. I'm gonna say I don't like talking about my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they not as I say vocal
Yeah.
as I am. I'm the more vocal one in the family. They kind of like more relaxed when it comes to him.
So
And then like he'll disrespect my mother, and then she'll be like, "I'm finna call your auntie." Like, why do you got to call me to put fear in him? He should have that fear from you. It shouldn't have to come from you gonna come tell me.
yeah.
But that's what I tried to get her to see when he was growing, getting older, that she needs to put that fear in him.
Does he play any sports?
Even if you're not gonna do nothing, you still got to put that respect in him. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. No, I was just asking if he plays any sports or anything like that.
Yeah, he's in football right now.
Okay.
And he plays, I think sometimes he plays baseball. Yeah. He likes football. He enjoys it. But, and then sometimes I think it could be they miss his father because he does, he will say sometimes ask us questions about his father and, how was his father growing up and, things like that. So I think some of it is kind of acting out.
And I can understand that. But yeah, like I would agree with what you said. Maybe finding a male mentor. I don't know if they have any, programs in Chicago, because I know a lot of these things are starting to pop up all over the country, where men are actually going out and trying to help these young men become better men. But you have to make sure there has to be women who are willing to put their children in those kind of things. Nobody's trying to replace the father or anything like that, but you want to let him see good role models, good examples, not just these athletes, and so that they can have something, visual to understand. So it's a tough
right. I'm
situation.
going to talk to her again, about that, and getting that mentor for him. And it's a little difficult because he lives on the other side of the city, and you can see him like really on the weekends, and it's like he's getting taller. You know what I'm saying? He's like, before, I would say something when he was younger, he kind of, he didn't say nothing back. But now he's like at my height.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can't like look down on him, you know what I'm saying? Because he getting taller and taller. He's like,
You got to break him into kneecaps. You got to take out the knees,
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
So I got a question for you.
I don't know. It's just hard. It's hard raising boys.
Okay. So do you think women can successfully raise, young men or young boys? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. I think you definitely need that. I mean, you can. I'm not going to say. In some cases you can, but some of them definitely need that role model.
Yeah. I agree. And, and I see some folks in the chat saying, it can be done. It can be, but I think that the odds are less likely than more likely, because we see, how many of, the young kids, and it's in the black community, but it's not just the black community. I mean, if you look at a lot of, low income communities, it's a lot of fatherlessness. And if you just look across the board, you see where the propensity tends to be where you have the men who are getting into shit, or they do go look to, what y'all gotta understand about this is, and I'm telling y'all, and this is from a person who, even though off and on, my dad was kind of in and out of my life, but even though your mom can tell you this, that, and the third, and that situation is different, but you know, you have a lot of moms who, dad may still be like, oh, your daddy ain't shit, this, and this. As a young man, as a boy, as a teenager, whatever, you're still always going to be curious about your father. You're gonna need that influence of a man. And again, women can do everything. And I had a friend that I would have this discussion with. You know, she was, well, I did this with my kids, and I taught them this, and this, and I did all this. I'm the mama and the daddy. You can never be the mom and the dad, no matter how hard you try. You can only be a great mom. You know, but you can never replace the father, whether he was a good man, whether he was a shit man, no matter what it is. You'll never replace that in a young boy's mind. Because you know, it's just something you're going to think about. What kind of man am I supposed to be? What kind of man am I? What kind of man was my father? You know, why am I the way I am? And these are things that you're going to think. These are things that are going to cross your mind. And you know, if you don't really know your pops, then you're going to look to the next thing. And what you see a lot of this is these motherfuckers that's in the streets, or you know, whatever it may be, and they start emulating that nonsense because that's the male role models. That's the masculinity that they see. So they start, you know, following that type of behavior, and you know, that can lead to a whole different can of worms. So I do think that you have to be proactive, like you said, get that mentorship in his life.
Exactly, because the mother, she's one of those kind of women, like the other caller that called in. She doesn't really want a man in her house. You know, she has a home and everything. She doesn't want, and she never been like that to where she had different men coming in and out of their life. And I do appreciate her for that. You know what I'm saying? That's why we always, you know, we rock with her. You know, she needs something for the kids. You know, we there. You know, because you know, we got that responsibility too. But that was my brother, and those are his kids. You know what I'm saying? So we are a village over here. Yeah, I don't know about other families, you know, but I know about mine.
Yeah. And that's good though. That's still good to have that foundation. You know.
Right, they'll be over here for the summer, so y'all can expect me to be. Oh my goodness, and them kids can eat. Oh my goodness, I don't know how y'all parents afford the food bill on the kids. Huh. And they growing too. Lord have mercy.
That's tough. Man, yeah, I definitely be seeing it. And just eat.
Eat.
Be bored, eat because they bored and shit.
It's all good.
Okay. So you say no kids, and for you, you'll deal with the family that you have. You know, what would it take though for you to be willing to accept a man that had children? I mean, is there anything that, you know, if he had, maybe if he was a weekend thing or full custody, whatever it may be, what would it take for you to be to bend that rule?
He had to be the last man on earth.
Damn. The only option left, huh?
That's why I like them older. So at that age, they already done had their kids. They don't want no kids. They satisfied with the kids they got, which probably should be grown by that time. So we all do it. I'm not saying that I haven't dated a man with kids, because I have. And all I know is kids just start coming out of everywhere. You told me you had one number of kids, and then next thing I look, you done told me a different number. It was seeming too much. It was seeming too much. I had to now.
Okay. Well, that's tough. You know. Well, hopefully, you know, you don't have to come down to that. You know, the last man on, because you know, if he's the last man on earth, you know, it's gonna be a whole bunch of women after him. You know, you're gonna have to serve her more than a side man sandwich, and you're gonna might have to whoop a couple of bitches. You know, it might not be worth.
Prayers heartless. I already said that my brother is deceased. So.
Oh yeah. So that's for those of you asking about the pistachio, they're used for all kind of games, questions, and other little things. Man, yeah, that's tough, and that's it's kind of crazy because I feel like it's an epidemic that we're having with that. You know, just we see it more and more, especially when, you know, we're adopting this mentality of, everything can be done that independent thing. It's independent when you yourself. When it's just you, yeah, absolutely. Be an independent woman, be an independent mom. But when you have children, I think when it's girls, it's different. But then when you have a son, you can't necessarily be independent. You have to show him. You have to introduce him to quality role models. Again, there's only so much you can do. I feel personally,
Right.
but
Exactly. But, I guess we'll get through.
yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Seems like you have the right mentality, and if she's willing to accept that advice and be active with it, then hopefully it'll pan out well for her.
Yeah, she said she was going to look into it, but she really needs to look into it because he's getting older and older.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a karate chop coming sooner or later. So I feel it in my spirit.
That's tough. That's tough. Oh man.
Well, I think I did answer today's question. I don't know. I got all sidetracked into my family life. Shit, think you Dr. Phil or whatever.
Look like I'm trying to be a little bit of everybody, a little bit of Black Dr. Phil, a little bit of Howard Stern, a little Joe Rogan, a little 5150, But yeah, you did, because when you talked about it, you said no, that you don't really want to deal with the kids. So I believe you did. I believe you answered it.
Oh, okay. Well, before I go, I just wanted to say, Josh, if you listening, you go to hell, you freak. I definitely don't like you, and I really don't like you after today. And everybody else have a good evening and a good night. And I will see you guys later.
All right, Miss Rashida, I appreciate your call.
All right.
All
No
right.
problem. Thank you.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
All right. So I'm curious. I see a lot of women saying, yes, single women can raise good men. But then on the other hand, we get a lot of the conversations, niggas ain't shit these days. Why is that? What is the, we got to figure something out here. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Oh yeah, man. Honcho, I pretty much got to say what I said, texted to you in the chat for everybody to see that me and him are, I guess, cool somewhat, cool some stuff like that. Cause I really didn't even know this spirit towards your kid, because I know how you raise your kid. Because just forget the household, but just how you conduct the dinner, how you conduct yourself and stuff like that. And I was pretty much bringing the mindset of when I was in elementary school and middle school, I was around their music a lot because they had a whole lot of dances and stuff like that. And with me, I didn't really get into it because my parents, they raised me the right way. They raised me, they taught me right from wrong, very strictly. If I ever did that type of shit, that I wouldn't be on this earth no more. And I do have a little sister that I raised since 10. So if I ever would have went down that road of liking someone younger than me, then my parents would come and take me out before the cops come see me. So I was just pretty much letting everybody know that. And I know that me and you, I'm not sure you were born in Beaumont, but we from the same area, and they don't really play that shit. So I just wanted everybody in the den to pretty much hear that shit. So I don't know if you want to say anything, but it is what it is.
No, I got your message, and I responded accordingly. And as long as we can follow that protocol, we all good.
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. Sure.
All right. Appreciate your call there, Josh.
All right, man.
All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
What's the motherfucking deal?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Who do we have calling in this evening?
Hey, this is Momo.
Momo. What's the motherfucking deal, Momo? How you doing this evening? What would you like to share with the den tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm pretty good. I can't complain.
I wanted to respond to the topic you were talking about should you date someone with kids? And I just wanted to speak personally, on my situation. I've dated people with and without children, and it's definitely easier to date men that don't have kids. Okay. And I'm actually a step-parent. I'm married to a man that has a son. And I can say that the road has not been easy at all. But I wouldn't regret it. Like, when you're dealing with someone with a child and you're not their biological parent, there's a lot of boundaries there that you have to, respect and that you can't cross. And like in my situation, unfortunately, I didn't realize those boundaries until we really got involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my husband, the thing about dating any person with children, and including my husband, is that people can be very sensitive about their children. If honestly, like if I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't date anybody with kids.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't. And when I did get involved with the person I'm with now, my mother raised the issue, and my friends also raised the issue, and I didn't think it was a big deal. Because I love kids and I used to work with kids, so I thought that being a step parent would be something that would be a cakewalk, for me. But people are very sensitive about their kids, and you have to be very careful about what you say. Even if if in the beginning of a relationship, when I used to come to my husband to talk to him about behavior issues that our son was having, he would get very, very defensive. And a lot of people, when it comes to their children, they can be sometimes irrational because of the love that they have for their kids. But I think sometimes it does take somebody like out on the outside to bring things to their attention. Because, parents are blinded by their love for their children. And a lot of times, a lot of them are going to defend them even if they're wrong. So that was like a big, a major issue for us. I kind of had to learn, my place and my boundaries. And it does get frustrating at times because you are, my husband, he has sole custody of, his son, and he went to court to fight for him. His mother actually gave up her rights to him because she has a lot of other issues, but so he has like complete custody of him. So and then another thing that I didn't think of, like I was a single woman, and I went into a relationship with a man who I had a lot of respect for because he was raising his son on his own, and he used to tell me how hard it was being a single parent. But I didn't realize how much, my life would have to change. And not saying that I, regret it, but going from being single to now taking on other responsibilities, financial responsibilities, time responsibilities, it was like a big adjustment for me.
Yeah.
It was a big adjustment. And so I didn't, take those things into consideration.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you 100% about parents being sensitive about their children, especially with the disciplinary issues. I know that was one of the things, the bridge that we had to cross, in my particular situation, so I can relate to that 100%. So did he ever really kind of come around to what you were saying, or do y'all still have kind of any issues with that? Like, how did that work out for you?
Well, sometimes, like, I think it's different if you're the woman with the child, and then you have a man come in the situation, because men usually, like, have this takeover spirit where they're not going to put up with a lot of things. And I think a lot of men let women know from the beginning that, I'm the man of this household, and this is the way I think things should be. But when you're a woman, you're coming into a relationship with a man, it's a little different. I can't say that my husband has come around to be open to what I have to say. And quite honestly, I'm at the point now where, I'm probably a little more hands off than I should be when it comes to disciplining him, only because I really just don't want the headache. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't want the headache of dealing with it. So when it comes to discipline, I will let his father deal with him, or a lot of times I will just ignore it. And that's probably not the healthiest way to deal with it, but I had to go through a huge transition because I thought that he would be a little more open to what I had to say. But he's really not. He's not at all. And that's a big headache for me. So, like, my thing is, would I rather be right or would I rather be happy? And I'd rather be happy. And the way that I deal with it, being happy, is, you know, I don't really press the issue. It worries me a little bit because I you know, I have a different parenting style than my husband does. Like, both of us were raised, you know, very old school. And I think that there's a lot of things that were instilled in me being raised that way. There's a lot of value being raised that way. He doesn't necessarily agree with that. Like, he rarely, like, hits his son. And I'm a person, I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, whipping your children. So, you know, we disagree on that part. Sometimes I think some kids, they don't understand anything but that. Like, I can talk to him until, like, I'm blue in the face, and, you know, for some reason it seems like he doesn't get it, like it's not connecting. But one thing I can't think kids do understand is, you know, an ass whooping. And they can make that correlation between that, you know, that behavior and getting an ass whooping. I do wish that he was a little more open, but he's not. Like, you know, I would come and talk to him in a very respectful way, and, you know, be very tactful and be very mindful that, you know, that is his son. And I was a teacher, so I know that parents are sensitive about their kids. So I'll be very careful in my approach. It doesn't work. It does not work with him. Like, he will get angry, like his nose will flare up. He would turn red in the face. Like, he's just really sensitive. He's sensitive about what people say. So I can't. It does, like I said before, it does make me a little worried about what the future holds, because I think that there's a lot of things that he gets away with that his father, you know, that's not going to be good for him in the future, and I don't think his father is taking that into consideration. And you know, another thing that I didn't realize too, coming into a relationship with a man with a child, is that a lot of the responsibility falls on the woman. Like, a lot of it, the majority of it. And I've taken so much responsibility. And, you know, I wish he probably was a little more active and a little more involved with raising, you know, our son. But I've noticed, and maybe because he's a single parent for so long, and now he, you know, he feels like he has a partner, so he can relax a little bit. But a lot of it does fall on me. And sometimes, you know, I get frustrated because it seems like I'm the one doing most of the child rearing, but I have the least input. And that is, you know, a big issue for us.
Yeah, especially if you don't get the opportunity, you don't have the ability to, you know, enforce in the manner that you like to enforce, you know, the rules. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah, and, you know, it's a lot of work. Like, you know, going to parent-teacher conferences, you know, dealing with school responsibilities, dealing with work, dealing with, you know, him. It's a lot of responsibility raising children. Like, I was telling somebody the other day, like, being a parent is a lot of hard work, you know, and I didn't realize that until I got, you know, involved with somebody with a child. But, you know, that's probably, like, one of the sources of my frustration, is that I do so much, like, I do a lot, and I feel like sometimes it's not appreciated. And I know people have said, you know, being a step parent is the most unappreciative job, and it really is. Hopefully, my way of dealing with it is, I think that sometimes you have to let people see things for themselves. Like, I can talk to my husband all day long about his issues or what the future may hold for him if he continues with certain behaviors. But until he actually sees it himself, it's probably not going to change. So, you know, I can't stress myself out about, you know, a situation that, you know, I can't change.
Yeah, that's true. Because you just, you know, it's just going to put more stress on you, and, you know, that's not good for anybody. So I agree. I mean, and it's unfortunate that, you know, that it'll have to be that outcome, because sometimes, excuse me, when it gets to the point where you have to let them see things, it can be a little too late, or, you know, by the time you try to change up the parenting style at that point, they may be used to one thing that they're kind of ingrained in their ways. So even if you do switch it up, they're either going to question, what's going on with you, or again, they just may have those habits might be, deeply instilled in them by that point. So, hopefully he sees maybe sooner than later. And how old did you say that the son was again?
He's 8.
Okay.
And I've been involved in. I met them when he was 4.
Okay.
So I've been involved with him since he was 4 years old. He'll be 9 in a couple of months.
Okay.
So I'm the only, mother figure that that our son knows, because his mom really hasn't been in the picture since his birth.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a lot of issues going on, with my husband, like from having his mother abandon him at birth and having to be a single father, for so many years and go through the court system, which is not kind to black fathers, which he had to realize, he kind of had to do more fighting for his son than he would have had to if he was a mom.
Yeah. I agree. It's not easy for the fathers when it comes to the courts. There is a heavy leaning, whether the mother is quality or not. So, and that's unfortunate. I wish that there was a way that could be, leveled out, but it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I have other friends who have gotten involved with, men with children, or have gotten married, to men with children. And one piece of advice that I try to give them is, to have those hard conversations before you get involved with them. Sit down and talk about how you plan on disciplining kids, or if they would be okay with you disciplining the kids if they think that it's appropriate. Because unfortunately, we didn't have that conversation. We just kind of got into a relationship, but, didn't really talk about it or address it. So, that would be my piece of advice, is to sit down, and it's a hard conversation to have, but I think that, it's worth it to talk about it beforehand.
Yeah, I agree. Try to cover all the bases. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Okay. What would you say was maybe, well, I guess it's kind of obvious, you don't have to, deal with, the discipline and stuff. And I was going to say, what would you say was a big difference between dating a man that didn't have kids compared to one that did? Is it the freedom? Is it, what do you feel like is maybe the biggest difference in that situation?
Well, I think the difference is when you're dating a man that doesn't have children, you can focus a lot on you two's relationship. Like, you have a lot of more time to get to know the person, and that person to get to know you. I definitely can say that in previous relationships I was in, it was probably more of a romantic aspect of it. Because, it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
You could go out all the time. You could go out on dates. You can go out for the weekend. It's a lot of freedom. Now if we go out on dates, it's because we have extra money left over, and we also was able to find a babysitter. Like, a lot of times it's hard to find somebody to to babysit our son. And then when you're dating somebody without children, you just have a lot more energy. You just do. Raising children can be exhausting. And I had put this comment in, one of the things that I found growing up, dating as a woman without any biological children, is a lot of men with kids don't want to date women with children. They prefer to date women without children, which I always found funny. I always found that to be funny. And another thing too, I do think that if I had children of my own, then my husband would probably be more receptive to what I had to say. He would probably be a little more open. I think sometimes, a lot of times, he's not receptive to me. And sometimes I feel like he doesn't listen to me, honestly, is because I don't have biological children of my own. And he says that, if you had kids of your own, then you would understand this, or you would be thinking differently about this. He always says that. And in our relationship in the beginning, a lot of things that he would say to me, it wouldn't be, he wouldn't be trying to be hurtful, but it would hurt my feelings. Because when you get involved with someone with children, you're completely invested in that child's life.
Exactly.
Like, you are completely invested. And I would be trying to be the perfect mom, trying to be, so invested, making sure that he was taken care of, making sure that he felt cared for. And so, like, a lot of times when we would, when I would say something to his son, he would be like, oh, you don't like my son. Like, he would internalize everything. You don't like him. You don't want to be bothered with him. Stay away from him. And that would, like, hurt me, because to be involved in a child's life and be invested in them and then have someone tell you, you don't like my child when you know you love their child is hurtful. And I don't think that the people, the parents actually realize that. Like, if I didn't love your child, I wouldn't be here, because I'm in the trenches with you. And that's what it feels like. Like, I am in this with the both of you guys. And so the headache, sometimes I have questions, has the headache been worth it? Would it have been easier to get involved with someone without children? I do question that sometimes. Like, was the headache actually worth it? Like, I love them both, but at the beginning of our relationship, it was kind of World War III sometimes.
That's tough. But yeah, I agree with you too on that, what you just said. When they, and I guess as a parent, you kind of have to question. And again, if you've been doing something one way for so long, and then to have a new personality brought into the fold, and something, just different outcomes in certain situations, I guess you're going to question things. But yeah, I think it's as a step parent, you do want to be appreciated because you are committed. And like you said, if you weren't, you wouldn't be there, because there's so many other options, especially as far as if you didn't want that situation going on. So I feel you on that one.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So I think I've come up with a, formula that works for the three of us. Maybe when he gets older, maybe he'll feel a little more comfortable, and maybe he won't feel comfortable, and that's just something that I've had to just come around to just, accepting. It is frustrating at times, but I try not to let myself get too stressed out, about it. But that is what it is. If I did have advice for people without children, I would say try to get involved with someone that doesn't have kids. That would be my advice.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, Miss Momo, I believe it's your first time calling, right? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually called in before.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, this is actually my second time calling in.
Man, okay. Well, I apologize. Look, sometimes I get so many calls, I get it mistaken. Well, I appreciate you either way. I just, I apologize for that if I didn't remember. But
No,
I thank you for sharing that. And again, like I said, I see some similarities, some similarities in my situation as yours, but I think, like I said, my old lady a little bit more receptive. But I thank you for, pointing that out so people who may not be in that situation can understand, and, they'll know what they're getting into if they do choose to make that decision.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to think. I don't want people to like fantasize the situation, because it is important to be realistic about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. Well, Ms. Momo, I appreciate your call, and I appreciate you sharing that tonight.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hello, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hi, Honcho. It's Yaz.
Yes, I'm so glad you called, because I didn't want to do all that typing in the chat. I did not want to do all that typing. Yes, I'm very glad that you called. All right, so
I thought this was an interesting topic. And I like the last caller. She made a lot of good points. I think as far as dating someone with kids, women definitely have to be careful who they bring around their children, especially when they're at those impressionable ages. When they're at the age where they're soaking everything up, and they're defenseless, you know. And it's just so sad with that Brittany girl case in Houston. It's so sad that this little girl could have been saved if her mom, I mean, she was just too young to speak up, you know? She was just too young to defend herself. And I think that it might have to be a sacrifice. If you look around your area and you look around, you know, your neighborhood or your hood or whatever, and all you see is nothing but not so good character men, it's just, let's take that sacrifice, you know, to protect your kids. Because not everybody out there are good people, let alone parents.
So, why do you think this situation keeps occurring, though? Because we hear about this all the time, you know, about especially with women bringing, you know, questionable characters around their children.
Well, I think because, you know, the kids, and I'm not just going to say women, because there's single dads too out there that ain't got it together. I've run across a few, and I'm gonna tell you about about you know, their situation.
Okay.
And a lot of people out there feeling like they're very hopeful in love, and they still have the mindset of, hey, maybe one day I could find somebody that loves me and my child, and she's still out there rolling the dice. And just the way society and, like you guys are saying, the technology and the culture of our country is changing so much, you don't even know who you're bringing in. You don't know if this guy could be only into you. You may feel like, okay, I got boys, so I'm gonna bring a man in because I got boys, and you don't even know if this man could be on a down low. He could be some sort of pervert up there, you know, and now you got a fruity boy that you know he wasn't that way before, till you got that man in the house. So, you know, these days I just kind of feel like just to be just a precaution. If you love your children, like the last few callers, the lady who made the sacrifice to not ever bring no man in her home when she had her children was young and all that, I think that's great. I'm starting to learn through I guess just through God really just guiding me to the point where it might have been a blessing that I have been single for this long, because I really don't see any men around me that I could feel like, oh wow, he'd make a great father. He's a great person. I would want my son to be mentored by. I don't see nobody like that.
You might be looking in the wrong places now. So where are you looking for these men?
I don't know. That's just, huh?
So where are you looking for these? Where are you seeing these men that you don't feel like are qualified?
I'm not necessarily looking for them. It like I say, within my area, in my day-to-day routine, I'm not running across nobody who I feel that is like, oh, he's an excellent, great citizen. He's an upstanding citizen. He's someone I would want my son to aspire to be like, whether it's in his career choice or his, you know, whether this guy is getting arrested all the times or even just looking at his motivation. He don't want to do nothing with himself. He just, you know, just kind of going through the motions in life. I don't know if I would even want my son to be around somebody like that. So I'm just kind of just really taking a seat back. Before I was just a little bit hopeful. I was like, well, maybe my boy is getting older. Maybe it'd be better. But now I'm starting to see, you know what? It's better for me to just wait till the boy is out. If I'm fine already, I'm still fine at 30. I know I'm gonna be hot at 43. It's okay. I can wait a few more years, you know, because it's not even worth it, you know. My son's safety and his sanity to me is more important than having somebody fill my head up with lies, basically. Because the last few den conversations just really kind of killed it for me too. So I was thinking to myself, man, men really ain't shit these days. Or not really ain't shit, but you know, you just can't really find anybody that may have the same mindset and the same values that I have. That's important. When you're looking for somebody to blend in with your family, he has to have the same mindset. You guys have to have something in common. Like your values have to be on the same path to successfully raise a child.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I ran across a few single dads, and just talking to them on the phone, I'm thinking, oh, he has kids. I have a kid. It should be great. We should get along just fine. And I'm on the phone with this guy, and all I hear is just chaos in the background. You would think I was talking to a woman in the project. All they fussing and screaming and cussing and sit down and don't do this and blah, 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 blah. And he was just screaming and I just felt like, wow, this man really does not have his household in order. You know? He don't have an order. See, in my background, peace. And, you get on the phone with him, chaos. And he didn't even have a whole house full of kids. And they were old enough to me, they felt, I thought they should be old enough to be trained. Now, you got to behave, or you run across the single dad raising a little girl. I mean, that little girl just falling to pieces. She too doggone old for that, sucking her thumb and stuff. I'm just like, oh, my God, 8 years old, 9 years old, just falling, just acting like it's a big toddler. I said, well, this boy needs help, but it ain't going to be me. I don't want them bad children coming and influencing mine. Man, I work too hard on this boy, I got him trained to where he has responsibilities. He takes care of them. I mean what I say, and I do what I say. If I promise him something, it doesn't matter whether it's in discipline or it's in reward. I make sure I come through with it, and I tell him, hey, your word is mine. You tell me you're gonna be here. You better be here. He's there, and I'm telling you, I have a really good thing with my son, and I feel like if I brought in some chaotic man that's used to screaming and yelling, and he came from a household where they did all of that in his house, and he think being, punching your son or knocking your son through the closet door or whatever is the way to go in parenting, and he come into my house try to do that, that ain't gonna work. So that's what I felt like, yeah.
That's interesting. It's sound like you got a lot going on with some of these gentlemen that you have, had these conversations with. And I definitely agree.
I think society, because I don't think that's fair. Society, just like there are a lot of stigmas when it comes to men in some areas of, our social, of how we all interact. There's some stigmas that come with women, and I think the single mother thing is one of them, where they're not even paying attention to these single dads that's getting in trouble too. And these single dads are pulling their hair out as well. And these single dads got their kids running away from home too.
There's significantly more single mothers out there, so that's probably why you see more of it.
Yeah, I would say that. There probably are more single mothers, but this is how I feel. Like you're not even in your child's life, how you gonna come in my child's life? How do you treat your own children? Are you a part-time single dad? Because I find a lot of guys are like, oh, I'm a single father. How are you a single father and you don't even live in the same house as your child? You don't live in the same house as your child. So how could you say you're a father? You're not a full-time one. You see him every 2 weekends in a month or whatever. To me, that's not no full-time. You ain't no single dad. You don't know how it is to wake up with them children and have to put them to bed every night and make sure they do this and make sure they do that, and that constant day-to-day daily training, you're not involved in that. So how do you feel like you come into a woman's life, a new girlfriend life, and just jump in and just take control when you probably never been around children in your whole life? You'll probably, if you clock the hours how many times most men have been around children, it probably wouldn't even tally up a week.
So is that more so
4 hours every 2 weekends? That ain't no parenting.
But is that more so the man's fault or is the fault of the court system?
Well, that one there, I guess that would have to go on a day-to-day basis, but it's still what it is, because on a personal basis, sometimes, yes, I believe the courts do get involved and they make it hard for these gentlemen to get their kids and to be constant daily interaction with their children, but I don't want to put my brother on blast, but something like him, he's upset about the baby mama. She ain't doing this and she ain't doing that how he like with the child. I'm like, okay, well, go get your child in. He ain't gonna go get him though. They're not gonna slap no cuffs on him.
Shit.
If he wanted to go get his son, or if he wanted to be around every weekend. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted to be there and she called him up for money, he's there to give her some money. So why don't you call him up and be like, hey, let me take him off your hands this tonight? I'm in town. Let me take him off your hands tonight. He'll come sleep over by me. We hang out and and I'm sure she'll love the break, But a lot of these fellas aren't doing that.
But I mean, I've seen many stories, and I guess it's all perception and perspective. Because I've seen stories. It was a gentleman I was watching the other day, where he had his kids for so many days, and I think he had a couple of different baby mamas, but he had all his kids together, and it was his time to have them. But because the one of the mothers of his children was upset, she wasn't supposed to go back till Friday. I think it was like a Wednesday or something. She goes and she calls the cops, and she feels like she has more custodial rights than he does, even though the court system said, hey, this is the time frame in which you have it. So he was within his legal rights. She calls the cops on him. She makes a big deal. She has them all outside his house. She actually left work to go and harass him about this, to let him have that. It doesn't quite work the same for fellas. You see these stories because there's mothers out there who are paying child support. I'm not going to disregard that, but it's just so overwhelmingly in the woman's favor that there's a lot of good men, and I'm saying from my own perspective, there's a lot of shitty men too. I can acknowledge that also, but I know a lot of good dudes who were put under the thumb of the court system. These guys were great parents. The mothers of their children never really had to want for anything, but out of spite for them moving on and getting into another relationship and being happy, they decided that, hey, they wanted to make it a legal thing. When I know for a fact, 'cause I would be there so many times, that these guys took damn good care of them. They wanted their kids every week. They wanted them every day that they could have them. These guys work a lot of construction contracting gigs. So especially when they were in town and they were off for, maybe a few weeks or whatever, they tried to have their kids as much as they could. Like I've seen these women do spiteful things and just for money. And it's what, like, the kids were never hurting. But so you don't see as much. It happens. Yeah, you got like the Kevin, what's his name, and Wendy Williams situation and all that other stuff. That's a whole different animal. But my thing is you have fuckery from all parties. But in a situation like children and custody and all that, it favors the woman. And so I saw you saying something about, raising, good men and all that. This is not to be disregarded. I think women can do that. But I don't think the likelihood is as great. I think the percentages are small, but give props to the women who do. Most women are not, especially if they didn't have a father figure in their life, they're not well adept at being able to do that because they don't know. So again, if they can't choose necessarily, you have a lot of women who are constantly, let's say a woman who has 3 or 4 baby daddies, she has a habit of continually picking bad men. Do you really think that she can teach her child how to be a good man if she can't tell what a good man is to have in her life because she consistently picks bad ones? Do you think she really possesses the ability to do that?
I think she can do it if she get herself together.
But what's the likelihood of her getting herself together?
It takes some counseling. I think it does take some counseling. I mean, she got the children now; she can't give them back. If a person, I'm not going to say a mother or a father, if a person dedicates themselves to just being the best parent that they can be, go out there, humble themselves, look for advice, read, watch videos, listen to whatever that they know that, okay, look, I don't have it together, and I know I sure don't, I didn't come from a home where this kind of love was shown, so common sense should tell me that let me go find some help. Now, and that's with a man or a woman. So a lot of these situations are coming from just people just not being educated and not really being, they're so wrapped up still into themselves, and not knowing, hey, you have a child here. You have a whole nother human being mind that you are shaping. Everything you do, is going into that child's psyche. And that's going to turn them into the person that they're going to grow up to be. Now, can you deprogram all of that once you get old? Yes, you can, because I like to think I'm a prime example of that. I didn't grow up in the best situations in my household, but I feel like as far as me taking the time and getting to know my son and learning him and being sensitive to what I notice are natural male inclinations. I notice he's naturally headstrong or whatever. He's naturally independent. Okay, but I'm still trying to find ways that I can maneuver and still guide him in the right direction. Other than, hey, I know I have the type of son. I feel like if I was to lash out, and and just be berserk how my mama used to be on me. Guess what? He probably gonna do what I did. Get the fuck. You know what I'm saying? And so knowing myself and knowing how I was at his age, knowing how headstrong and hard headed I was at his age, okay, I'm not. I know, okay, this ain't the right approach for him. And I think parents just may have to, when you get a child, there's a time in your life you just may have to slow it down. Slow down. Don't be, this society, and I understand the media and all this social media and stuff. You've seen everybody having baby gender reveals and parties, and they're celebrating marriages and stuff. And it can be enticing to any single person. Feel like, okay, I want this, and so I'm gonna go out and try to find it. And the first person you meet, just say yeah to it, and just move in, and now y'all playing house, and you don't even know this cat. So I think we just have to slow it down. When you have kids, just slow down and take the time and just really do some critical thinking on those decisions.
Okay. Now, with that being said, and knowing the society that we live in, would you say that most women are like you? Would you say that you're like most women that you know?
Am I like most women that
Are you
me
like
person?
yeah, you personally, are you like most women that you know, maybe have grown up around or whatever it may be? Would you consider yourself the status quo when it comes to women?
No, I don't think I am as far as my age group. Because I've heard it before, and I see, in my, my coworkers or whatnot, or people I know from in the neighborhood or whatever. A lot of them are shocked to see that oh, you don't have anybody, and you walk around smiling. You're everywhere I go. They always tell me how well behaved my son is. And but there are like my son's friends, his mom. She's real cool, and today she has a good head on her shoulders. So there are women out there that's like me, but are we like the majority? Like no. And I think a lot of, and not just women. I know some men out there just get themselves into some crazy situations that have children.
Absolutely.
They have children. These men have children, but yet they're 33, 34, 35 fathers, and still hopping homeboy couch to homegirl couch, and you just find this one girl, you hook up with her, y'all move in together, and she trash your credit, and she do this and that, and now both y'all homeless. I mean, this stuff is still going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Older than me.
But all I'm saying, I'm just saying that to say that, so, when you say that, women can do it, this is not to say that they can't, but all I'm saying is that the likelihood, if you said that, you're kind of an oddity, that people compliment you on, everything you have going on. And
I'm not saying that I'm an oddity. Well, I say this because I'm saying this as an example that it can be done. And this is what I've done. I've slowed down, and I stopped, and I started critically thinking on my decision. I slowed down. I search out parenting information. I search out, faith information. I search that stuff out. And I think anybody could do it if they just take the time and make the decision that, hey, look, it all happened for me years ago when I figured out, what, there is no Prince Charming. He ain't gonna come and save me from my situation. So I got to pull myself up, and I got to make it happen for myself, because you can't rely on nobody. And when I got that through my head, there ain't no man, doesn't matter how fine, doesn't matter how sassy or whatever I am, or sexy or whatnot, it doesn't matter. No man is going to do this. My life ain't going to be stable until I learn to get this shit together myself. And when I learned that, I think I was like in my mid-20s. When I'd rather it happened to me in my mid-20s than it happened to me when my son finally getting out of high school. He's in high school. I'm in my 40s or something, It happened for me. I'd rather it happen to me, to that light bulb to go off in my head when I'm 26 than it did when I'm, say, 40, So, I mean, it's never too late. You don't have to come out fresh thinking that as soon as the baby's born, you're going to still think, hey, I could still go out, and there's still hope for me, and there's this right guy. No, there isn't.
But then what
Please
happens? What happens
get
to
that off
those
her
women that
head.
do that? What happens to the people that do that? That go right back out and they just have a baby? Because I've seen people they just had a kid. And either they fresh in a relationship while they having a 1-2 month old or things like that. And this is
The worst case scenario is that they'll end up like that Brittany girl in Houston. Worst case scenario.
what it happened. We saw it happen to what's his name?
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, his baby mama. He's a famous football player, the boyfriend, and beat the kid to death. There was a story a while back in Oklahoma when a kid beat
Yeah, those are
babysit.
worst case scenarios, but
Yeah, and so
to me the risk is just too high. It's like whether you want to risk. Now you could risk it and come out a winner, like I know several other women had babies. They was able to find a great stepdad. You just have to know. Okay, am I willing to make this risk? And if you're kind of prone to bad boys, if you're prone to bad relationships, then guess what? Maybe you might have to take a step back and say, look, I'm gonna just do this by myself and not worry about trying to get in a relationship, because everyone I've been in has just been completely bananas, or I can't trust them or whatnot. So if that's the case, then let me just leave it alone and just focus on my child.
But how many people do you really feel like do that, or how many people really stay stuck in their ways? If you gave a percentage, how many people do you think really change, and how many people do you think stay stuck in their ways?
A percentage. I might have to say it might be split down the middle. It may be 50-50, or probably a little more, a little less, give and take, because like I said, you got those worst case scenarios that we see in the news. Then we kind of got our medium scenarios of where you see your neighbors fussing and fighting, and they're constantly moving out and constantly got bags in their hands with the children following behind them, or or they jumped one relationship, moved in, it didn't work out. Now you're back at square one, your credit all messed up. You got a second relationship, you're back at square one, your credit all messed up. Now you can't get nothing by yourself. A lot of those go on, but I think, and like I said, there are some that, hey, she made a mistake 1 or 2 times, got 1 or 2, 3 kids or whatever. She finally got it right on the fourth one. Now she married. She's good. So, it does take some work. You have to make that decision to say, hey, I'm gonna work on myself, and I'm gonna work on focusing on my child, and then that significant other, that love that you want, is gonna follow through if you want that.
Well, me personally, and I'm just saying from my personal
Me personally,
me personally, from my experiences and what I've seen, and again, there's just so many different stories, but I've seen, and the way that society pushes things, you said about people stopping and taking time, but you've also said this is a microwave generation, so I don't think a lot of people want to do that. They just want to find a quick fix. I think that the odds are more, and I think I'm being generous, 70-30, as far as 30% of the people who actually change and do better, 70% are going to stay the same and bump their heads a few more times, and then kind of increase the burden that they place upon themselves. And then once you have so many kids, it's hard to give those children each the individual love that they need and deserve. So I think your situation may be one way, but I think when you look at some of these women out there that are single with multiple kids, and again, you have to put blame on the men too, who are not stepping up and being fathers in their lives, but at the same time too, a lot of these women know the kind of men that they were fucking with. They knew that they were scumbags and they were dirtbags when they was fucking with them. They thought that either they would change them or a baby would lock them down or whatever else. So they just made a mistake having unprotected sex with those type of dudes. I don't think people change. I really don't. Like, I know, and I hate to say it like that because I know I've made changes, but I look at people around me and the people who I used to run with, people I used to associate with, and I look at myself and I look at them, and very few, if any, have really made changes, or significant change. A lot of them still carry that same person that they may have, done better when got a job or did this, but they still carry a lot of that same personality, men, women, whomever it may be. So I understand what you're saying. And if you're willing to put the work in, absolutely, you can change, you can become greater, you can be a quality person, you can do all those things. I just honestly don't feel like most people do that. Most people have this feeling of, especially once they hit a certain age, I think like around the age of 16, they feel like they know it all, that's who they're going to be, and they're stuck in that mentality until they get old. Because you see so many old fools walking around here all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not to take it away from anything that you've done. That's not to take away from anybody who has been successful in their endeavors, as far as, be it a single mom raising a kid, being a single dad raising a daughter, or whatever it may be. It's just that we see too many stories all the time. And the reason why we're seeing this is because I just don't think people are selfish. And you see a lot of people bring kids in this world and they're not willing to make those sacrifices. They're not willing to make those changes for the greater good of the child. It's more about, well, I can birth this child. I can have this child and still do what I've been doing. Let me find a way to, squeeze all this in. Let me leave the kid with grandma, or let me do this, that, and the third. I think we see far more of those stories than we see success stories. So I think we have to appreciate the success stories and, congratulate them. But there's so many more of the bad ones where you just see gangs of the little gangs of niggas that you got running around the streets now. They start off as little kids and people failing to, give them the proper guidance. And why are there so many of them? Because there's so many stories like this. And I'm not saying all of them came from single homes. Some of them had ain't shit daddies who taught them to get in that life. You had some of them who had moms who encouraged them because their daddy was in that life, getting money. They encouraged the kid to get in that life. So yeah. I think it's just, it's a sketchy deal all the way around.
It is sad. Well, I feel like those people who refuse to change and still want to go out there after you done made relationship after relationship, bad choice after bad choice, and you still out there, and just know that your choices are in fact impacting your child. And hey, look, you may just have to stop dating. Just don't date. Sir, ma'am, don't date. Don't date, go to school, do something with yourself, take cold showers, buy your toy. It don't matter. Don't date. It's okay. It's okay. Don't date. Because all that's going to do, you're just going to get in one mess after another mess after another mess. And that's just lessening your child's chances of even, graduating. If they got to constantly move every 6 months, they moving somewhere else, or moving this and moving that place and jumping in and you meeting guy after guy or stepmama after stepmama. I mean, after a while, that's going to affect them even getting into a regular schedule of getting up on time. Every house you go into, you got to follow somebody else's new rules. Just don't date. Don't date. And if your father or your mother ain't shit, your baby mama, baby dad, look, go to court. That's what they're there for. Just may have to take it to the court.
Yeah, I agree though. You definitely got to stop dating folks.
And I noticed too, a lot of things I'm noticing too is a lot of grandparents don't want nothing to do with their children these days. A lot of grandparents at first, used to be able to at least go to grandmother's house and get, a little bit of peace, experience some sort of stability. But shit, if your grandmother like the Brittany Bowens girl grandmother, I mean, what kind of peace? They're not even getting peace at the grandmother's house, so. It's just definitely going to have to take a change, I think, on a greater scale, like maybe culturally, socially, to where we start frowning upon that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But that's
if society start frowning upon that stuff, then they'll have no choice but to, hey, my neighbors and my peers, nobody is out here having babies out of wedlock, so why would I do that? But if everybody around you have the same mentality, then what's to motivate them to change?
I agree, and I think that's
how we gonna break out of this cycle.
And I think that's when the terms like baby mama, baby daddy are harmful, because we gave a title to it, as opposed to it used to be a thing back in the day. Somebody mentioned a while back, hey, you have a kid, they go ship the girl off somewhere. She had a baby, whatever. It might end up being with the grandparents. They didn't put that out there. Now we have people giving 14, 15-year-olds baby. Having baby showers for 14, 15-year-olds like that shit is cool, So so we've embraced it, and I don't think there's any going back, and I think it's very sad. I think that your best bet, and I talk about this often, people say, "Oh, that's fucked up." You gotta disassociate from certain types of people, and I know that's what I've done.
That social media stuff too is garnering up a lot of super narcissistic people. Well, they even got children. They're doing all kind of crazy stuff for the Instagram and for Facebook or whatever.
For likes.
For these lives. Yeah, for likes. And they forget, hey, you're cheering in the background.
Yeah.
You know, I saw on Instagram what that guy Lil Boosie. Oh man, that nigga be cutting up on Instagram. But
Boosie a fool.
this dude here had somebody riding in the car, flashing her titties. I mean, he talked her out of her clothes. And if I be doggone, there wasn't a baby seat in the back seat.
Oh, wow.
Come on now, you know.
Yeah.
So would she have done all of that if she did not have direct access to her idol, to the man who she thinks, hey, if I suck him off and fuck him real good, he'll come and save me out of my financial situation, you know?
What?
Or would she have just went on about her day? What she had in mind was to go to work. But no, she ran across Lil Boosie on Instagram and even made her take her clothes off.
Hey, people do strange shit for a little fame, a little bit of attention, And
A
again,
little bit of attention. Ain't got nothing wrong.
Yeah,
One post. That was it. That's all she got off of it.
motherfuckers out there, exactly, Crash. Look, I'm broken. I'll be the flash. I'm telling you, man, it's just people will do. Man, you have just the foolishness that people. That make me think about that post I seen. It was like I don't know where it was at some beach event, and it was like 4 or 5 female. They just twerking and rolling down, like literally rolling down the street, doing barrel rolls and shit down the street, twerking and stopping traffic and doing all like. The attention is a drug, and the thing is, like, one, if you want to have more quality women, you got to stop giving these shitty women this attention, men, and then men, it tells what kind of character you are if you are pursuing these shitty women. It's an easy lay, and I understand all that, but you fuck around and you getting them impregnated, and you encouraging this behavior, then you're raising them like this is what you like. That's what I think about. If I'm laid up with you, like, damn. If I fuck, I think about that every fucking time I think I've ever engaged in anything. I hope I don't fuck up, especially fucking with a chick I know I ain't had no business fucking with, but that's just something people don't think about. And some people, like I say, they gonna go raw in anything they can get their hands on and not give a fuck about it, and then be surprised when some shit happens. So it is what it is, but I think everybody, like you said, people have to change their behaviors, but a lot of people don't want to do that. They got to keep it real.
Yeah, maybe they should start thinking to themselves. I used to think to myself, at one point I used to, dress real young and stuff. I wanted to just show everything off, whatever. And then it hit me that, hey, you know what? I'm somebody. It took me one day. I was at school. No, I was picking my son up, and one of his little classmates. This is when he was real young. One of the classmates was like, "Oh man, like, look at that girl." And I was like, damn, these little boys think I'm a girl. You know what I'm saying? So that made me, hey, hold up now. I'm somebody's mama now. I'm somebody's mama. So you know what? Really make sure my skirt is covering all my ass and my thighs now.
But it's other people who go the opposite
wear the club
direction.
wear no more.
Yeah, it's
So
other people
throw the club wear out.
Yeah, you got a lot of women that go the opposite direction. They like that youngest. They want to still feel young. They want to still feel like they can get that attention.
Yeah, but I was like, damn, I'm kind of embarrassed. I was like, man, these little rascals have put me on blast, I was like, oh man. I said, oh my goodness. I said, well, it's time for me to go shopping. It's time to leave the club wear, the little Fashion Nova fits or whatever. Well, it wasn't Fashion Nova at the time. It was like rainbow. I was one of those rainbow chicks. Let me not go to Rainbow now. Let me go on over across the mall, get some good clothes now. But yeah, but that was like, dang. I was thinking to myself, wow, okay. Even these little rascals talking about, oh, look at that girl, wow, look at that. I was like, damn, I'm somebody's mama now. I didn't even put the clothes on. They know better now. Yeah. So I should know better. Yeah. Alrighty then, well, let me get off this phone.
All right, well, Miss Yasmin, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And, like I say, I think, like you said, everybody just got to step it up. They got to improve their standards.
Yeah. Alrighty then.
All right, appreciate you coming.
I'll talk to you later, Honcho.
Okay.
All right.
All right, have a good night. Bye-bye. Shout out to Miss Yaz. I think we're going to get ready to wind it down here. I be telling y'all I only gonna fuck with y'all for 2 hours and shit. Like I gotta do a turnaround and get right back up now. But I just want to say, looking at this, and I got a couple other good topics we're gonna have off of this one, so expect some good shit in the morning. Just that we have a lot of things to work on as a society, but as long as we continue to embrace yeah, love meter random in the motherfucker. I don't know what my love meter says. Something suspect. Well, always something questionable. Fucking love meter is love meter is a risk. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be cautious. You're taking a gamble. Love meter is like some of these people out here in some of these relationships. But but what Crash said about Home Depot, let me tell you something, man. Again, like I said, I was doing some contracting work consistently back in the Gap, and you got to go to Home Depot to get material and shit. And Home Depot about as good as Home Depot on par with HEB, goddamn. Home Depot, especially in the summertime. And look, I know we're talking about behavior, and I'm gonna talk about ratchetness too, so I don't give a damn what y'all think. Home Depot, man, look, Jack. I'm gonna give y'all some game. I'm giving y'all some tips. All I'm saying is, Jack, look. Oh, you want some smoke, Sweet Berry? Look, I don't want to do this to you. Y'all gonna accuse me of being a lady beater. But look, I'm telling you, and I would have never thought, shit, man, look, Jack. Look, hey, if you looking, there's options, is all I'm gonna say. Man, that's fucked up. See, look, man, the tube tried to rob me while I was fighting Sweet Bear. That's fucked up. Damn, I thought we was better than that. But man, look, I'm just telling you, I'm old looking ass nigga. I'm old looking ass nigga, so I'm just telling you, if you old looking ass nigga like me, trying to do right, Home Depot definitely has some sites. That's all I'm gonna say. But if you on your note, and you trying to make something shake, the grocery store, Home Depot. Nigga, fuck the mall, fuck a damn. But then again, see, if you go to the mall, you look for them young broads. So, don't, if that's just you, if you young, do the mall, do all that shit. If you're a nigga like me, you like older chicks and shit like that, fade the depot. You know what I'm saying? Fade the grocery store. HEB preferably. If y'all don't know what HEB stands for, it stands for hoes everywhere, boy. Miss B, glad you could join us this evening. I'm just telling you. Now look, hey, don't say, look, hey, you can say that nigga Honcho full of shit and Honcho is on all that nonsense, but y'all can't say I ain't never give y'all no game, man. You got an HEB in your city? Man, if not, then look, they need to tear that bitch down. If you go to that HEB and you don't see just nothing that is appealing to the eye, they need to shut that bitch down because it's not following protocol. I'm all about, man, look, matter of fact, no, I ain't even tell y'all all that shit. Yes, and I have a bunch of people who reached out, and I got to get some type of contact information for a couple of folks who said they are attending the Den meet and greet. I got some of the folks on the Facebook chat. I have some of the folks on the Instagram chat. I wish there was a way to combine all that, but so we're looking at about, I want to say, I think we're about maybe somewhere between 10, 11 folks saying that they're gonna be coming through, and so more than likely we're gonna probably have to end up going to the hotel route. We need to get that in action. But I was thinking about that B&B Airbnb would be really dope. But so here is the dealio. Man, I fucks with y'all. But if you are, November 8th, if you are planning on being in attendance, reach out. via any of the social media platforms so that, I can keep y'all up to date with all the proper information and what's going on, and you can have your input on what's going down. But we got to make that happen. We definitely got to start getting that rolling because the days are counting down, and I want to make sure everybody is on the same page. Let me see. Again, if you want to follow my personal social medias, Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm sorry. Make sure you like the Facebook page. You want to join the Facebook group, link in the description below. Hey man, if you're enjoying the video, if you enjoyed the conversation, man, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new and you're just looking. And I just want to say shout out to everybody who calls in. Shout out to everybody who holds the chat down, because again, I say this is the best conversation on the internet because y'all make this the best conversation on the internet. This would not be anything without y'all. You know what I'm saying? Live every night at 10 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central. So we'll be back into action in the morning. Appreciate it, Ms. Momo. Thank you for calling. Yeah, and hit that bell. Hit that fucking bell so that way y'all don't, y'all get the notifications, man. Yes, and share. If you got friends who have like my, even if you got some ratchet friends who need a little game, you can tell them to come in too. If they don't like it, they can call in and argue with a nigga. We can argue. I'm with the shit. But I fuck with y'all, man, and I appreciate y'all. Sincerely, I do. And look, I gotta do a little self promo. If you would like to make a one-time donation to the channel, you can always go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show. We currently have a super chat cut off. I use Streamlabs because, the Googleizer and what they be up to. And if you would like to make a monthly pledge, shout out to everybody who has subscribed via Patreon, patreon.com/The Den Show. You can, I want to say shout out to James Martin, Stina Story-Eyed, Dan, and Miss Goya. I appreciate all of the love every night. Yes, every night. Every night, 10 p.m. Central Time. Yes, ma'am. It goes down in the den. And yes, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. So yeah, we definitely make a shake. And I just thank y'all, man. Like I said, I think we got something nice here. I think we got something good that's growing here. And again, like I said, I don't look at this like a channel. I look at this like a community, and I'm dead serious about that. Because it's just, I don't think you get this conversation anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you get this conversation anywhere else. What the two working with? Damn. Okay, but the come up, okay. So all I'm saying is, rock with it. We out here. We gonna make it shake. I'm gonna start pumping up the podcast more too. So like I'll put the link to that. If you want to buy some Den merch, you can go to denshowshop.com. It'll take you to the Den Show store if you want to store. If you want to cop some Den shirts, all the little stuff. I'm gonna be putting some more stuff in there pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna definitely have to continue this conversation. And plenty good topics have come from this live, so we definitely gonna make it shake. But I thank y'all, man. Like I know I go on my little end of the stream tangents, but some of the triple OGs know where this started. Triple OGs who've been fucking with this since the Kush Den, y'all know how far this has come. Miss Bell, you have a good night. Y'all know how far this has come, and I have all the old Kush Dens private. Look, we ain't finna go down. We ain't finna open up that can of worms. But man, it's like it's a very interesting thing. Thank you to Tube. I appreciate it. It's not my channel. It's our channel. Everybody, y'all make this. Like, y'all gotta understand that. It's providing the vibe. It's a community. It's us. Like, I try not to be a me person. I be me sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, but it's about the community. It's about, because I'm a big proponent of free speech. People should be able to speak how they feel. Always. I don't believe in hate speech. I don't believe in all that. Hey, if you have a reason for why you feel a certain way, who am I to change that? I'm not here to change you. I'm just here to moderate a platform where we can have these conversations, and I think that's necessary. But yeah, y'all know, man, from the Christian, back in the Christian, before I upgraded to the TV, and I think that happened, like on a Christmas time or something. I used to be in a little bubble and shit. Yes, ma'am, Miss Yasmin. We'll be doing the DN at 10 in the 8, 10 Central Time, so, different folks, it'll have different time, but yes, I'll still be doing the DN at 8 in the AM, Monday through Friday. So yeah, it's just, I'm enjoying seeing the growth. And so it's gonna be real cool, man. I'll be looking at some of them old and I'm like, wow, those were terrible. Like if y'all probably never seen them. I might do, depending on when certain goals are reached and certain things happen, I might bring back that old format for old time's sake. And I have been thinking about, I want to know what y'all think, because like I definitely like to take a lot of input from the people. Guard your nuts. Protect your nuts. Because I've been thinking about bringing it back, even though I know that you have the live chat, in the thing. I've been thinking about maybe bringing the chat back during the lives, like on screen, because I know when people come back and watch them when they're late, that it may be more convenient. But then the thing about the chat is that if you only see the top chat on the screen, so you don't get the full context of the live chat. So I'm thinking about it. Bring music back. Shit. And then I have to bring my channel back. But I fuck with y'all, man. And that'll be bad, Brandon. That'll be bad. It'll probably be one of them first Kush deals with being Kush. We were talking super crazy. Who we were fighting the NBA and shit like that. There used to be some crazy. I'd be in this bitch halfway nodding off high. Start off talking like this by the end of the stream. Look, man, y'all gotta understand. Be slow as shit. It's just a whole different ball game. But it is what it is. But I fuck with y'all, man. Let me get up out of here. Cause I'll be talking for another 30 minutes. But I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Tell a friend about the Den at 10. I always remember that. And hey, look, I'm finna steal some pistachios. See, y'all been on my ass while I've been in the on my ass while I was in the calls and stuff. Y'all was stealing from me. That's why I don't like people at my house. I don't know, but they be stealing. And y'all just stealing pistachios out the pistachio bowl when I wasn't looking. And I think somebody tried to pimp me. I was getting challenged. It was just a whole lot of stuff. So as soon as this stream over, I'm finna be in the chat stealing everybody pistachios who's still in here after the stream. We ain't got the bully thing no more, but I'm finna pimp somebody for some stages going down. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I'm shutting up the dudes, man. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Y'all ain't got to go home, but I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Yeah, y'all cool, but I can't trust y'all. Y'all some pistachio stealing. Y'all look good, man. That's what I say. You can't take niggas nowhere, man. When I ain't just talking about the black folks, if you in the den, shit, you getting called a nigga tonight, goddamn. All y'all, goddamn. But I fucks with y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. And y'all some cool people, man. So thank y'all for watching. Catch y'all tomorrow morning.